That's right.
wait.
The one thing, he always makes the short jokes and bullshit like that because he knows if I jump across his table, I'd fold his clothes with him inside him. Like, no, we're praying.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, but I'm sure.
Well, we used to start these podcasts without praying.
We'd forget.
We would forget.
Something would go wrong.
The podcast would just go wrong.
Electrical shit.
Stuff would just go wrong. And then, so now, and then I recorded it one time. And I left it in, and it's just part of it. Now we just leave it in. We leave it in, and that's what starts our. That's what starts our podcast.
I mean, it's always something that I pray every morning. You know, God allow me to help someone and not hurt anyone.
Right,
I mean, those are just like the things that exactly.
I heard this. I heard this, and I use it quite often. Start the day with please, and end the day with thank you. And I've been doing it quite often. So, let's go to the Lord. Take us there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Heavenly Father, for bringing us together, really coming in and allowing us to hear what it is that you want us to share. Allow your words to speak through me and through Larry and to Rob, like to have this synergy that allows us to be guided by your mercy and your glory. Because without you, we have nothing. So thank you, Heavenly Father, for the nurturing love that you've always provided for us. Amen.
Amen. Let's go to work. You like that. You know it.
Well, I thought I was going to go somewhere else. Oh, freaked out.
You sit on the toilet.
Not my wife.
Do you remember where I left? I hope.
Anybody
I do.
Oh, I do.
Okay, good.
Hi, Rob.
What's up, buddy?
Sorry I had to cut that one.
Don't be sorry.
I knew that was going to go long because, we normally try to do a couple hours of the story and then come back and we'll do a topic, right?
Like an hour topic.
Right.
40
Hour.
minute,
Yeah.
40
So,
minute,
I mean, because we were talking about now you're getting into your betting addiction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's where we left off. And, there's a lot of going. In fact, you left off, I think the last words you said is, you had 27 arrests, and I'm like, oh, good grief. This is going to, we might want to start cooking dinner, babe, because this was going to be a while.
I think she said 26. Don't add another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, don't forget about the one early on in college.
She counted that too.
Yeah, that's part of it.
So she only had 26.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I like to
27 is
exaggerate.
much worse.
27.
Yeah.
27, 26. What the hell's the difference past 20?
Tomato. Right? Yeah. Embarrassing. All of it. Like.
So welcome back, Kachetta. This is week 2.
Yeah.
So this is the second episode, and we're definitely, and as I told you on the phone the other day, is Rob and I having somebody that's not inside of our circle that we don't know is fun for us, right?
I love it.
I love it because for me, we've talked about my ADHD many times on here, right? We get to a point where I'm like, okay, we got to go. We got to go. I couldn't. I'm like, no, I want more of this story. There's so much more there to get.
It's like being at an outside meeting where no one really knows you sometimes. And so they'll call on their favorites and I can just sit back and listen.
But are we even halfway through your life at this point? Are you to 30 yet?
Yeah, I'm around 30. Okay. Yeah, I'm around 30, and I didn't get sober
you talked
until
about
I
Desert
was
Storm,
42.
and that's because I went in the Navy in '92.
Yeah,
which was kind of when that's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got sober at 42. So in 10-year period, you got arrested 25 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you won 11 G's.
So I won $11,000 and I was like, oh my God, I am like a hero of the family. I've just paid off my credit card. I was like, look, honey, look at what I brought home. This is incredible.
Did you actually pay off the credit card?
I did. Oh. I actually paid the credit card off and I was like, wow. What clicked for me, you guys, is this should be my full-time job. Like twice at the track, and I win over $14,000. Like that is incredible. Like what the hell? I mean, I am a professional horse picker. There must be something special about me.
The horse whisperer.
Yeah. And I am just like this fluke where I can pick things. Right. And I was just like, wow. So what I started doing after that was I was getting the forms. I was studying the trainers. I was studying the tracks. I was studying the
But you
stables.
didn't do that before.
Never. Studying the stables, doing all of this, and I could not pick anything after that. Like the more I knew, the worse it was.
Worse you got.
Oh, the worse it was.
Thinking too much.
Oh, I was like sitting in bed with the forms and like, I was showing up at the track every single day. So it became a daily habit now. And now my bets, I'm not winning anything and I'm getting more frustrated because
Doubling up.
Yeah. So I'm doubling up. I'm trifecting. I'm doing all the things.
Just trying to get that feeling.
Exactly. You're trying to get that like winning, like when you are in addictions, the only thing that you want to do is win. Like you feel so lonely and isolated and loser, like a loser.
Well, we want those endorphins. We want that.
Yeah, you want to feel good. And I was like, oh my God. And now I'm using, getting some meth. And so now I'm on fire and, I'm staying
all night reading.
That's right. You have to.
Yeah.
You got to have that fuel to study.
And I was like, I'm having these conversations with my husband and now my credit card is clicking up. It was Discover was out. And I remember I had written a check for that Discover credit card. And then all of a sudden my Discover was available again, right? The card was available and I was getting cash advances from it. And so I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like back up to the amount that I had just written the check for. And I'm like, I cannot believe that I'm spending this kind of money and I've got to win sooner or later, don't I? So I am literally taking all these trainers and jockeys and horses and I'm parlaying them with different, I am making a trifecta ticket that's like $2,000 because I'm putting every single horse and the one horse I don't put in there is the one that comes in. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'm frustrated and I'm angry. And now I'm literally going and I'm stressed out because my husband's going to freak out on me. Right. And so I am getting credit cards, in the mail. Like we're getting these credit card, the credit card applications in the mail.
Oh yeah.
And I'm literally forging his name on it and I'm getting credit cards and that's what I'm doing. Like I am
just
literally
racking up the debt.
Racking up the debt.
So I can hit that one big one to pay it all off. And
to pay it all, and
he'll
he'll never
find
know.
out. This is all justified. I can do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Justify it,
I am freaking out. And my dad, I remember having a conversation with my dad because I was like, my dad is the type of person that uses credit cards and pays them off that exact same month. And he thinks you're an idiot if you do not behave that way.
If you carry credit.
If you carry credit, he is absolutely from the old school.
Yeah, but he's got great credit.
Of course, but he doesn't borrow. Even with his produce companies, like he pays cash. Like if he doesn't have cash, he doesn't buy it. If there's ranches out there that he wants, he's not going to go to the bank and take out loans. Like, he may in a small way, but he doesn't want to ever feel that pinch that he felt before. Right. He never, and you're an idiot if you behave that way.
Right. But he had lost before as well. Yeah. So he doesn't want to go back there.
No, he doesn't want to. It takes him everything to build up and he works so hard for. And so he just feels like if you don't have it in the bank, then you don't spend it. Like if you don't have that money in the bank, then you don't spend it.
But it goes back to the same principle as your mom. She's so disciplined, but as is your dad. I think it's also just a period, the era that
it's that generation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Era
They've
that
been
they're
hungry.
from. Yeah.
Well, and my mother, let me tell you, is not disciplined. My mother is a shopping person. She shops. And she has always shopped. And even when we were young,
Why
I
not?
used to
Your
tell
dad
her.
will pay off the credit card.
Well, yeah, exactly. And guess what? My mother, I used to tell my mom, I go, the reason we lie, like you hate liars, but when we were young and you used to take us to Beverly Hills to go shopping, we would leave the packages in the car and you would say, don't bring them in until your dad is gone. Like that is right there showing me how to lie and
by omit.
Yes, and get away with it. And if your dad asks if that's new, you tell him
This
no.
whole thing?
You didn't say it, so it's not a lie.
Katie, you say it like you've done it.
Maybe.
Yeah. But it's okay to do that when you're
I
your
taught
mom.
my girls, but it was on sale.
Yeah.
Bonnie said
Tell
the same
your
thing.
girls?
I saved money.
Tell me that.
I know, but this is what I've brought to my girls.
Yeah.
So I've cursed them as well, but it was on sale.
Yeah. Right. There's a reason.
It happened to me yesterday or Friday. I get back from jiu-jitsu, my jaw's hurting, my hips hurt, so I've got she makes the bath for me. And everything's ready. And then she opens up the bathroom door. She says, and the kids are going, she goes, thank you. I was like, what did I buy you? Here comes some jewelry. I love it. I got to get a new chain. This chain doesn't really fit right, so I'm going to get a new chain for this one. But thank you so much. I love it. Out the door she goes. Okay.
But she's saying this
honest.
as you're getting into a bath.
My wife don't fuck around.
Yeah.
She's honest.
She's honest.
Yeah.
She's
she
honest.
always gets what she wants. And she hates the job that I've got now. Well, she loves it, one, because I'm not in equipment or I'm not wrenching and doing stuff, so I'm not that much danger. But I'm home at different times, so there's always Amazon.
Oh my God.
So just make sure just make sure Sancho's out of the house before I get there.
Oh my God.
And he can't eat my food.
Oh my God. Amazon is such
My boyfriend, the Amazon man.
Well, and Katie, in Larry's defense, every time I've come here to do a podcast, which is over a year now, 50-something, 60-something times.
69.
Every time I leave and open the door, there's a package sitting there.
No lie. I mean, I do have things that are on auto ship as well. So, there always seems to be something coming, whether it's, supplements or, hair gel or whatever. But
I mean, it's something for $20 sometimes.
So convenient.
It is. It is so convenient.
Yeah, but here's the other thing. You can't, I prefer this one spice that is lower sodium. You can't find it in the grocery stores.
No, you can't.
But you can find it on Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny. My mother, we use to make our tomato sauce, our marinara. We use this palmy tomatoes. They're in a box, and my father couldn't find them, and so I got on Amazon and I ordered 4 cases of them to come, and so they don't have to worry about it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's convenient.
My dad's like, they're discontinued. I went to 2 different stores, and I'm like, Dad, is not discontinued. Trust me. I can find them. Amazon's got it. Yeah. I understand.
Okay, let's get some trouble. Where's trouble start coming?
Okay, so trouble starts coming. So obviously I'm doing something criminal that I'm already rationalizing it's not criminal because it's my husband. But I'm forging, I'm forging his name on documents, right? And getting credit. And then I'm also taking business trips. So, I would have to go on business trips here and there, and we had customers all over the country. So I had to go to Kentucky. So I was going to Kentucky.
There's some horses over
Race capital of the world, baby.
I know, but I didn't actually go to the horse races. But there was a guy that was kind of flirting with me that worked at a company. He would buy our produce, and I met him in Kentucky, in Louisville, and that's where he was from. And then I was going to Louisville. I was literally going to Indiana, and I was going all over these places. Well, I started my journey in Vegas, right? Decide to go to Vegas. And now I'm starting to play slot machines, and I'm playing dollar slot machines.
It's not even horses. It's just flat betting.
No.
It's just betting.
Yeah,
It's just
gambling.
betting.
Yeah,
No,
it's just gambling at this
I
point.
literally, because of the guy that was at the track every day, he was a bookie, by the way. He liked me. He liked me. And I can turn on my flirting when I need to. Anyway, his name is Ted. And I'm like, okay, Ted. So, and he's like, have you ever been to Vegas? And I'm like, no, I've never been to Vegas. I was 20.
Wild.
I was saying, how did you never get into Vegas?
No, never went to Vegas. So I was
why did you
almost
do?
30. Let's see. My daughter was probably at this time, maybe 7,
Are you still with your husband?
6 years old. No, he was 6 years old. No, I'm with my husband still. She was 5 or 6, and I'm going on these business trips, and I go to Vegas, and I decide, and Ted comes with me. Like Ted goes, hey, I'm going to go to Vegas.
Ted the bookie.
Ted the bookie. Yep. And he's like, I'm going to Vegas, and if you want to come, you can come, No, nothing between Ted and I. I was
Platonic, straight
yeah,
platonic.
straight platonic. He just liked my energy. So I go with him, and
That ain't all he liked.
and I'm like, and I'm literally like playing slot machines or whatever, and I'm playing quarters and I'm playing dollars, and then I hit some big money on playing $5 slots, right?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, $5 slots. All of a sudden I'm winning big on $5 slots, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm getting a jackpot every once in a while. Here's jackpot like $4,000. Oh my God, here's like 4,800, whatever it is.
I'm a slot machine savant.
Oh my
now.
God.
No more horses.
And I'm like, wow, this is way cool. So anyway,
Instant gratification.
And instant gratification. I never keep what I spend, but now I'm drinking like a fiend and I'm smoking cigarettes and I'm like doing meth and I'm like, oh my God.
Good grief.
Yeah. I've just got a lot.
Gambling,
Yes.
drugs,
Yeah.
alcohol.
Don't have to worry
Hell
about
yeah.
Yeah, don't even have to worry about the eating because I'm straight up methed out with the alcohol.
Look at the weight is on point.
Weight is on point. I'm looking hot, guys. Okay. Absolutely hot.
Yeah.
What a crazy person. Anyway, I end up missing my flight and I am like missing in action. My husband's looking for me. And by this time, it has come out that I am spending all sorts of money. Like he is figuring this out. Like, oh my God, this has been going on. I'm trying to speed this up so we're not so like in this one particular part. But make a long story short, my dad gets wind of it, that I'm in Vegas. I get home and a friend of mine that I went to college with that basically also told my parents that I was in my eating disorder, right?
The same friend. That's a good friend.
Yeah, one of my friends. Oh, I hated her. I was so mad at her. But yes, she is a very good friend. I love her to death. She basically she gets called in to do an intervention. This is my first intervention.
So you never made it to Kentucky?
I made it to Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
I ended up being with that man as well. Like I just could not do stuff. Like I'm trying to just navigate my life and I am like,
You're really just sabotaging your life.
no, I'm sabotaging my life. I don't even care about my life, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
You know, I hate my life, but I don't know how to get out of it. And I'm scared and I don't know. I'm doing things that are very risky, but I don't know how to stop.
But then
That
what?
makes sense.
But then the alcoholic and the drug addict. Once we take the drink or do the drug,
all bets are off.
it's all good now.
All bets are off. Yeah. So and the drugs, like I'm doing meth, but I'm not doing it on a daily basis. I'm still periodically doing them.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. And
You're such an asshole.
but the gambling is just like really out of control along with the drinking. And I'm at the track every day. And like my dad at one point comes to the track, finds me.
This after Vegas?
No, this was before. He comes to the track and finds me and he takes me outside. He comes in and he said, "Get outside." And he is yelling at me so loud that everybody in the frigging fairgrounds, like off that track, is like leaning and he's like, "Degenerate gamblers, piece of shit, lousy losers. This is where you're hanging out. You have you're a mother. If I ever see your car at this place again, I swear to God, you will be disowned." Man. Like screaming at me. It's so embarrassing. Oh. And what did I do after that? I made sure that I didn't park in front of the off-bet track, that I parked 2 blocks away and I would run.
Oh God!
Well,
literally,
you were a degenerate.
No, I was a degenerate.
In your defense, your car wasn't parked there.
Nope, wasn't parked there.
Robert, stop it!
Literally,
I thought the same way. You know?
Yeah. Oh my God! But it was like that type of embarrassment, like that and shame that I was carrying, but I could not stop. I was an addict.
Were you supposed to be at work during that time?
Oh yeah, I literally so. You know where Kimberlina is?
Yeah.
Do you know where the fairgrounds is in Bakersfield? Yeah. I am driving on lunch break to go all the way to place bets on my tickets and run all the way back and then run all the way back
after the work we do to stay loaded.
And not to mention, I will do anything now to get that feeling. So I am going to get this one, you guys. I drive to Famosa, which is not too far from far from Kimberlina, right? And I drive to that service station and I park my green Mercedes-Benz at that parking and I leave the keys in the car and I go in and I'm scratching lottery tickets. No. And my car gets stolen and it's on the frigging news. Like green Mercedes-Benz. I mean, I couldn't catch a break. It didn't matter what I did. It was like gonna be out there.
Broadcasted.
It literally is going to be on the news. Like, they found my car. Yeah, they dumped it. You know, nothing really happened to it. They took the radio out or whatever. But it's like,
Conchetta, what were you doing at that time?
What the
I was
exact-
scratching a lottery ticket.
exactly. I would buy the whole sleeve
Yeah.
and go and scratch them and wouldn't win enough money.
To pay- for the
I'm
ticket, yeah.
putting it on the credit card, right?
Oh God.
And $5 or $3 or whatever the highest dollar tickets were, and my hands are black and I'm scratching tickets. Like, literally, my car is filled with that crap of scratching tickets all over.
Did you have like a magic coin that, or like a favorite coin you did it with?
No, I'm just like, I don't care. I'm my fingernails, everything's black on me. I am just like that degenerate gambler, right? Awful, terrible. Anyway, so this story then goes
Brad,
to where.
you hear this?
Is there a guy named Brad
yeah.
that likes to gamble? Don't you love the people in AA that are all of a sudden gambling and you're just like,
No, he's
oh my
good. I
God.
mean, he doesn't have a problem. It's just
Okay.
But he likes lottery tickets.
He comes into about every meeting with those $20.
But he wins.
He does. I don't know how he does.
He's
it.
just he's good.
Lucky.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, there's a secret there. But anyway, that's just me. I'm just saying. But anyway, so, because I would always tell you how much I won too. I never told you how much I lost.
Lost, right?
Yes.
That's a degenerate.
That's a gambler. You know, we tell you how, oh my God, I hit it so big. I hit it so big. You're never telling you all the stuff that it took to get there.
You took 10 shovel loads out and you put one back and
Yeah.
you think you filled the hole.
Oh my God.
So now your husband's realized that you're in debt and you've put him in debt as well.
Yep. And he's called my parents because I'm not, nobody can find me.
You're
And
lost
I'm-
again, just like in high school when you ditched and your mom was working.
Yep.
second
And
the
so
same thing.
they do this whole investigation and find out that I'm in Vegas, right? And I get a knock on the door in
With the
Vegas because
bookie?
I'm passed out. No, I'm passed out. I don't know what happened to the bookie. He left. I literally am still there, and I've been up for 3 days, and I literally am so exhausted. I'm in the room at this point. And everything is comped, in Vegas because I'm at Caesar's Palace and like I play so much. And don't you know who I am? And I can comp you any room you want, Miss Bruce, whatever you want, and it makes you feel special.
Right.
Right. Makes you feel like you are a badass.
Right.
And so I am literally in the room and I get this knock and my dad they pass the phone to my dad. My dad has them pass the phone to me and he is screaming at me. You better get your fucking ass home. I don't give a shit. Like you have a daughter. Who the hell? Like, I mean, just everything that you
I
can imagine.
No,
No.
I can.
And I am scared shitless. Like when my dad calls me or when my dad shows up, usually it's my mom that is taking care of business. But when it's my father, I know it's bad. Like, so it's bad. So I get home and I'm literally shaking.
But this is how much further? How much? Okay, after the racetrack ass chewing you got, and you started parking down the road.
Yep.
How long did this ass chewing? What's it? Was it like?
It might be 6 months later.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. When all of it catches up to me. And so now I'm home. I get picked up and now I've got these friends at my house.
Intervention.
My daughter's not there. I'm like, where's Bianca? She's not there. My husband's not there. And it's my friend. And she's telling me that there is a treatment center for me. Her mother-in-law, or I don't even know if she was engaged at the time. No, it was her boyfriend's mother, who actually ended up being my second grade teacher, works for a place called Sierra Tucson in Tucson, Arizona. And they have an eating disorder track.
They're still on the fucking eating disorder.
Yeah.
They still don't recognize any of the other stuff.
No, they think it's the eating disorder. They really think
Good
that
God.
it's the eating disorder that is pushing me through all this other stuff, right? They really believe, because if you think about it,
Well, 'cause
eating disorder and
Come on.
and gambling are process addictions,
Right. Okay.
Right. And so we're not really paying attention.
And they're
to,
more acceptable than alcoholism or drug addiction.
right.
My daughter's
Right.
not a drug addict. She's got eating disorder, but she's not a drug addict or alcoholic.
Exactly. And the gambling thing, you know,
byproduct.
It's a byproduct.
Right.
So they're thinking if they can get the eating disorder thing under control, then everything else will be fine. Right. And to be fair, I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm going to Sierra Tucson. I've got, you know, this eating disorder and I'm literally in treatment, and I can say a couple of names because they're no longer with us. So anonymity goes out the door. But like I'm in there with Tom Sizemore and like Judy, oh my God.
Garland?
No, not Judy Garland. It was,
dead right now.
yeah, she was,
I don't know.
She was a bad
It's a
alcoholic,
Wonderful
though.
Life. What's that movie? Her dad was, anyway.
So her dad was
Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
So Judy Stewart and Tom Sizemore and all, and I'm like, wow, this is friggin' awesome, man. He's literally doing the movie Heat, and he's there for drug addiction, right? Yep. And I'm sitting in groups with people that are shooting heroin, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm crying. You guys are going to kill yourself. Oh my God, what are you doing? Like, I just can't identify that I am this person. You know, it's not even, I am like, why am I here? I hate my husband. If I can just get a divorce from my husband, who is a controlling asshole, my life will be better. And who do I have a crush on but a guy that's tattoos, sleeved tattoos, long hair, heroin addict, nothing like anybody that my conservative husband who's in a suit every day. This guy's from Tallahassee, Florida, you know, and I am like, oh, starry-eyed, in love with this guy, right?
In treatment.
Because that's the best place to meet.
That's a-
your
Oh my
significant
God.
other.
Where the goods are odd and the odds are good.
That's right.
Right? Like, yeah. It's like, that's exactly perfect for me. Like, let's pick somebody up from treatment.
One. That needs to go on a soundbite. That's funny.
Like, that is perfect. Like, this is who I need in my life. This heroin addict that had so much abuse and all this stuff. And I'm like crying, and I'm in there, and there's people that are like on meth, and their skin is all open sores.
They're picking all the time.
They pick all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I can't respect
why
them.
is your skin? No, I'm like, why? What is going on with your skin?
And where are your teeth at?
Yeah.
Where's your teethus?
Yeah.
What happened to your teethus?
Exactly. And I am like, wow. And I just cannot. And they're telling me that I cannot drink alcohol. And I'm not identifying as an alcoholic. I'm like, why can't I drink alcohol? Because if you drink alcohol,
you just thought you had an eating disorder.
no, if you drink alcohol, I'm like, what is the deal? I can't even understand what they're speaking a different language. And by the way, they keep throwing me the 12-step at me book. And I'm like, can't even understand what's in this book because they're talking about muskets and in the first chapter and I'm like, what is a musket? I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Cold stale beer.
No, and I'm just like, what is this guy talking about? They're like, read the first 164 pages of this big book.
Which is stupid. Like, oh,
And
I can't
I'm like,
stand it.
I have a learning disability, you morons. I can't read this book. It's like written in an archaic language that I don't even understand. I can't do this. Like, what the hell?
That's so funny.
No, but this is what their treatment center.
Right.
It's a 12-step treatment center. Okay, so I'm like, oh, I'm going to play volleyball in the pool, and I'm going to hear about Tom Sizemore's life, and I'm going to meet Heidi Fleiss, who's coming to visit, and I'm literally going to be you're
in celebrity rehab.
I am celebrity rehab, and this is a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun, and I took home a boyfriend who followed me home, and I went home and got a divorce from that husband, and I was like,
You brought home the heroin addict?
oh yeah.
Bye.
Awesome.
And shoved it down my family's conservative face. Like, this is who I love. And I'm in recovery now. That's what you wanted. You know, I'm not drinking. I'm not engaging in my eating disorder. I'm not using drugs. I'm not gambling. And they're like, okay, we accept. Because my dad had told me before I went to that treatment center, and I said, I need a divorce for my husband. And he said, we do not get a divorce in our family. No one has been divorced in our family. And if you want that, then you're going to be disowned, type of thing. You won't have a job. You won't have a family. And so I went really crazy, So I showed them, right? And so now they're like, okay, we get it. You can get a divorce. Like,
But did they stick to that though?
yeah.
Were they disowning you because you ended up divorced?
No, they didn't. That's what my dad told me before I went to the Vegas, before I started going crazy.
She bartered.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop doing these.
Yep.
No.
You let me have this.
Right.
But it was the same thing in your earlier life when you were bartering with your mom, and your mom was also making things happen too.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
this is all you knew.
No,
Right.
exactly. It was like
You should have been the lawyer.
Oh yeah. So I was like, when I went into my dad and I had that conversation about how miserable I was in my life and I needed a divorce, and he told me that, like, that I would be disowned and I would have no job, right? And you will have no family.
Hold my beer.
I was like, got it. Watch me go crazy.
Right.
And so I went crazy. That's when all the gambling like stuff happened. That's when I was really a disaster.
You were just rebelling.
Absolutely.
Like a child.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to tell you no. I'm not going to like yell at you and have a conversation and fight with you, but I will show you what crazy looks like. And so that's exactly what I did.
Yet.
No, exactly. So then when I got out of that treatment center, that boy followed me home from treatment, drove his, like, what was he driving? Like a 280ZX, like across from Tallahassee, Tallahassee to
That's
Bakersfield.
popular in the 80s.
Right.
Miami Vice.
Yeah.
He was a little hungover.
Yeah. His parents were from Boca Raton, Florida, right? He was a heroin addict and an alcoholic that had grand mal seizures. I didn't even know what that meant. I was
Was
like,
he epileptic too? Or did
Epileptic.
no, he just drank so much that he would have grand mal
Okay,
seizures.
Oh, wow.
Like really bad,
Damaged his brain.
really bad alcoholic. And I didn't know what that meant. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's awful. I can't believe that. And so he had so much trauma because he had been sent away to like these reformatories that ended up like molesting him as a kid. So he had a lot of trauma. I felt so bad for him, but I was like able to not look at my problems and look at yours and try to be the fixer and go, oh my gosh, let me fix you. And so he followed me home and my divorce was, we filed separate. My husband filed for separation when I went to that treatment center, but he wanted to work things out and I didn't want any part of him. And my daughter was now about 7 or 8. And, as we were getting this divorce and I was living in a condo and the boyfriend came and my dad ended up getting him a job and getting him his own apartment because he didn't want him living with me because I didn't, when it fought for custody, how that would look.
The appearance.
And so the attorney said, do not do that.
Dude,
right.
Everything's about optics.
Optics, all about optics.
All your life.
Yeah, yeah. And so they got me this great attorney and Bill was fighting me for custody which he should have. And then there was a thing in the court order that said I had to drug test and do all this stuff, right? Which I had agreed to. And
Of course, because you were just home from this
yeah,
facility.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, no problem. Anyway, it took us longer. Like my mom goes, Princess Di got a divorce faster than you and your husband because everybody either knew, like literally everybody knew either my parents, the judges, or they knew my husband. So nobody would hear the case. They all disqualified themselves. So we had to go to like Fresno to get somebody that would hear the
Fresno.
case. Seriously, Fresno. Like in your backyard, guys. And so, so we had to go to Fresno and it took us like over a year to get this divorce done. Wow. And it was just like, my mom knew, and she would always say, your husband knows you. He gives you enough rope and you will disintegrate. You will ruin things. Like they would set me up with this great lawyer and get everything dialed in for me. And I would do something, create another drama in my life that would break down everything. And then I would be taking 5 steps back. Right. So self-sabotage.
Yeah,
I self-sabotage.
Yep.
So that boyfriend that came with me that moved home, he started drinking. Right. And I wanted to go to casinos. So like he was drinking and I was like, oh, okay, so we can drink and we'll go to casinos, right? You'll come to a casino with me. Well, it gave that guy so much anxiety. Like he was drinking more and more and he started to have these grand mal seizures.
Son of a bitch.
And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I didn't recognize what a true alcohol. That's an alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic.
Right.
That's an alcoholic.
That motherfucker's got
I'm like,
problems.
what the hell, man?
Well, see,
That guy is flopping all over the floor.
My sister has epilepsy, Tammy.
Right.
So I've seen those.
Yeah.
Well, so
it's-
does Katie's
My
brother.
brother as
I
well,
smacked it.
Yeah,
Shit out of
it-
one.
But someone who hasn't been around it or seen it, it is scary.
It's
It is
scary.
And
scary.
you don't know what's happening.
No.
You don't know what's going
So-
to happen next and with
And I
them
certainly
either.
don't want to take care of that. Like, holy crap, man. I got
didn't
shit
sign up
to
for
do.
that?
No, I got shit to do, dude.
Did you ever think, well, if I get not the heroin, if I get
Robert,
him some, if I get him
remember,
some meth,
God's listening.
If I get him some meth, he won't have the the alcohol won't affect him so bad. He won't have these. We could have some fun actually.
But she
No.
was flying right. She wasn't doing any
I
of that.
wasn't doing the meth. I was
you're just
drinking and
drinking.
gambling, but I wasn't doing that. I wasn't
She wasn't
doing
a
meth.
complete degenerate. She
No.
she did get something from the rehab.
I did. I
But
did.
from the rehab, were you good from your eating?
I was good for my eating disorder for a while.
Did you learn anything?
I did learn some things. I absolutely, but anytime you go to treatment and you're not ready, you can learn some things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can learn how to be a
Sure.
better.
Self knowledge does not get us sober.
No, I can learn actually how to act out in my eating disorder that it flies in a different way than so it's not so detectable. if that makes
educates an
sense.
alcoholic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my God.
Therefore, the main problem of the alcoholic centers in his mind rather than his body.
Absolutely. So I just learned a lot of things when I went to treatment. I was
Which
like, oh
which
my
are
God.
tools we can use at that point to manipulate more.
That's what we were just
Absolutely.
talking about.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
So-
learned how to be better alcoholics.
Absolutely.
Or drug addicts or gambling. So what did you think when he was on when the fish started flopping the first time? What did you
I
think?
just
Robert,
was like,
I
this is-
apologize. My bad.
I was like, dude, I'm just like, no.
Rob, Dawn.
I started I was going to AA meetings because I had to say that, when I came home, my family knew that I had to go to AA meetings. So I was going to AA meetings that were for executives. Like, I was like, of course I'm an executive. I mean,
You're networking.
I'm like, why would I go to a meeting? So I was going to noon meetings,
Of course.
at a church where all the business people were the lawyers and all the people. And as I'm going to this meeting, and the guy that my dad got a job for, he's at work during the day. So I'm going to this meeting, and I'm
The
sitting.
boyfriend you drug home.
The boyfriend,
He was
that
working.
followed me.
Right.
Yeah,
She was
he was
going to a
working, but I was
meeting.
going to a meeting. I was going to a meeting, and I was working too, but I was going to a meeting. So I'm in a meeting, and all of a sudden, this guy goes, "Hey, Conchetta," and I'm like, sit down, and I'm thinking, who is this good-looking guy? I'm like, I don't recognize him, and I'm just so confused, and I'm like scratching my head the whole meeting, and I keep looking over at him. All of a sudden, it clicks. Oh my God. It's Kevin from high school.
Oh, shit.
Now, Kevin from high school dated a really good friend of mine, and he was an upperclassman. He was 2 years older than I was, and he was always so handsome, so good looking. But my God, I thought that guy was dead because I heard that he was a bad cocaine addict. So I'm like, oh my God, it's Kevin. I'm like, hi, Kevin. And finally, like a light bulb goes off, and I smile, and I'm like, hi, Kevin. Oh
You got to
my
eat
God.
cocaine.
No, I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? I thought you were dead, and he's like, yeah, I've been to treatment. He'd been to treatment like, so many times. And I'd heard about this Kevin. Oh my God, Kevin.
He's got a problem.
I'm not going to say his last name because I'm like, oh my God, Kevin. He goes to, he literally has his parents were in the car business, and like he'd been to treatment so many times. Right. And so we talk after the meeting, and we start talking, and we start flirting. And I'm like, oh my God, at least
Here
Kevin.
we go again.
I know. I'm like, Kevin's in recovery. Oh my God. Kevin's so cute. Oh my God. I've always had we're talking about high school times in high school.
And
Yeah.
he doesn't drink and flop.
No.
So
He's in recovery, and he's in
Robert.
recovery. Hey, he's in recovery,
See, I
and I've got a
I like-
problem.
I
I
like
got to
the
get
direction.
rid of this other
This
dude.
is called
right.
the 13th step right
Yes.
here. For
Gotta
those
get-
of
yeah.
you that are wondering,
No.
this is,
Absolutely.
yes.
kind
It
of,
is.
but no, they haven't had sex yet.
No, it is a 13th step is when you're trying is like when you're
This is a
yes
13th
it is
step.
when you're picking up people in AA
Yes.
that are not well that are newly. Sober. You're right. It is a 13 step.
He was doing a 13th step.
Yeah.
Not her.
Yeah.
Well,
I wasn't.
he's cute. She's saying.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
cute. I
And
mean, I
she's
do
starting-
find him
she's starting
cute.
to rationalize. He's in recovery.
I mean, he's in recovery. This could be good for me. He actually owns it. He's a business guy. He owns a car
She's
dealership.
gonna make Dad happy.
Used car
Business
dealer.
guy.
Used car dealer, right? Anyway, so we start talking and he's a horse guy and I love horses. Right?
Of course you do.
And I love horses. And I used to own a horse. I used to have a horse when I was young. And so he's a horse guy. Oh my God, do you want to go horseback riding? Oh my God, I can't believe you have a horse. Oh my God, I'm in love. Anyway, I got to get rid of the other guy. I'm like, what am I going to do with the other
Feed
guy?
him more alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit. And I'm telling him like, hey, this isn't working. You know,
It's you, not me.
this isn't working. I can't do this anymore. Like, and this poor guy who
We're going to
dragged
hell.
his ass from friggin' Tallahassee, Florida in his 280ZX. Right. I'm telling this guy that it's over and he's now.
Drive your ass back. Oh, and he works for your dad.
No, he doesn't work for my dad.
Oh.
My dad got him a job
Oh, okay. Okay.
and he is now with a bottle in a paper bag. That's how he's drinking now.
Oh,
You know, and I'm like, wow, that's a real alcoholic right there. That guy's an alcoholic. And he's going over to my parents' house and he's crying to my mom. I love her so much. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at what she's done to me. I can't believe it. And my mom's putting him in treatment, calling his parents, like taking care, cleaning up the mess, right? And like, oh my God, this guy, this poor John French, right, was his name. He's dead now. The poor guy died of his addiction. It's sad. It sucks.
Yeah,
I wish I could make amends. I wish I could go back and make amends to that guy.
Have you ever wrote?
Because I treated him like shit.
Have you ever wrote a letter to John?
No, that actually would be a great tool.
Yeah.
That would that's a good tool. Thank you for bringing that up. I will
Because
absolutely.
the hardest amends that I made, the hardest that were for me, when both my parents were dead by the time I got sober.
Mm-hmm.
Writing those letters, going to the cemetery, and taking my wife with me, those were heartbreaking.
I made amends to his parents. You know, I felt really awful about what had happened to him. He didn't die with me. He actually went back to Florida, and then I found out that he had his parents got a hold of my parents and told them that he had OD'd and died. But it was like years later.
Okay.
You know, so did I cause it? No. Could I cure it? No. Yeah.
All right.
Can't control it.
No.
Nope.
None of it. Right. It's up to that person.
That's right.
None of it's your fault.
But I did feel that way for many years until I got into
sure.
recovery myself.
Sure.
So I felt that way. So that was another shame point, right? Of like what happened.
So Kevin's in the picture.
So Kevin's in the picture now, and Kevin is amazing, and and loves Bianca, and we're taking Bianca horseback riding, and we're doing really great. And I love you, you love me. Oh my gosh! And he's like, I think he's on probation.
And you're sober, right? At the
Yeah,
time?
He's on probation and has a probation officer because he got in trouble for possession, and so and he violated his probation. And so now he's really walking a straight and narrow line. And the probation officer will come to his car dealership and piss test him and do all that kind of stuff, right? Anyway, one day, Kevin doesn't come home. And I'm like, where's Kevin? But Kevin has told me all the stories about himself. Kevin tells me that what has happened in the past is when he is not working a program of recovery, that he will be at his car dealership in the back where the cars are being worked on, and he will shut the garage and he will smoke crack. Right. And so one night he doesn't come home for dinner, and I'm like waiting for Kevin, and Bianca's not with me because Bianca spends the majority of the time with Bill and it's like 50-50. So Bianca's not with me. So I go down to the car, and his Corvette is parked in front, and I'm like knocking on the door, and he's like, go away, Conchetta. I know you're there. And I'm like, Kevin, what's going on? I'm pleading with Kevin. Oh my God, we're doing so well. What's going on? And he's like, I am smoking crack. Yeah. And I said, open up the thing. I don't want you to do this alone.
Oh boy.
Just open the door.
Open the door. Never smoked crack
That
in my
actually
life.
just broke my heart a little bit. That right there, because that's brutal for you, because you just
Okay, so
you were in love with him so much, you just didn't want him to do it alone.
I didn't want him to be by himself.
Right.
Yeah.
so what was that like?
So now I'm like, it's okay. I don't want you to feel alone. I don't want you to be by yourself. And, he was crying. And so he let me in. And then now we're smoking crack together. Oh my God, what a nightmare.
Okay, now
What a
again, I
nightmare.
don't want to make light of this at all.
No, not at
However,
all.
I've never done that.
Ugh.
What is it? Because I've done. So what is the difference?
So have you smoked meth?
No, hell no. Well, I tried it one time. I don't like. I like because I like the whole drain, the burn.
Drain, yeah.
And it's a different type because
Yeah.
people that smoke meth, they just get lazy.
Right. So here's the thing. I never had smoked meth at that time either. And I wasn't an everyday user before that. Right. But all of a sudden I try smoking crack, and crack is like, I'm telling you guys, there's a reason why there was such an epidemic in this country. There was a reason why there's so many people locked up. There was a reason. It is such a crazy high. It hijacks your brain. And it's like you constantly, there's a ritual around making cocaine into crack, like cooking it. Like, there's a process of that.
Right.
And rocking it up, and then putting in a pipe and smoking it, and the high. And it is so crazy because when Kevin would smoke crack, because he had been arrested before and he had these charges and things, he would be extremely paranoid. Now, I'm a person that hasn't done drugs. I've never done anything like, I've smoked marijuana maybe 10 times in my life. I cannot stand it.
Yeah, it's a waste
It's
of
like,
time.
what is that?
Waste of time.
No.
We're
I mean,
uppers.
first of all, yes. First of all, I don't need the munchies. I had an eating disorder that gave me the munchies. Like, I don't want the munchies. I don't want anything to give me, food that is drawing me to food. I'm trying to stay away from it. Thank you. And all it does is make me want to go to sleep.
Yep.
That's no fun and be lazy. So I don't want that. No. So I am only interested in fast-paced things.
Uppers.
Yeah. And so what happened was he is literally paranoid. Like, he's in his underwear, you guys,
Watching out the
looking
window.
out the window.
Yep.
And I'm like, want to go out and do
Meth
something.
can do that too, though.
No, but I want to go out and do something. Like, I'm like, let's go dance.
Hell
like,
yeah.
let's go. Oh my God, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, blah,
But how
and
long
I'm
does it last?
Bouncing.
Before you have to hit the pipe again, how long? Because meth, we can do a big fat line up for a couple days.
Yeah, it doesn't last. I think in the beginning it lasted me a little longer. Obviously, I only did it, you guys, for like a 3-month span. Thank God I got out of it. I don't even know how I got out of it.
God.
But thank God. Yeah, it was God. And he went to jail. So I didn't have any other way.
Access.
And then I got in trouble, right? Long story short, what happened with this man was I was so in love with him. I really loved him so much. And he had a place over in, that he would go riding every weekend. Sometimes I couldn't go because I had my daughter. And so he would go up riding in the mountains. And what would happen was he started having an affair on me. Like, every single person that I'd ever been in a relationship has cheated on me, except for Bill, which is really bad
And
for
he was
yourself.
boring to you.
Yeah, and he was boring. So I was obviously interested in men that was not available.
That should be forbidden.
Yes, exactly. Right. And I was choosing men that had, that were not, emotionally available, even though I wasn't emotionally available either. You know what I mean? But that's who I was choosing. And because I was more interested in my eating disorder than I was with sex, they would go somewhere else.
Right.
And so I would think that there was something wrong with me. Right. So anyway, he was cheating on me and lying to me, and we were engaged at this time. And we are smoking crack, and then we would get clean. And then we would start smoking crack again, and then we would get clean, and it would be this pattern. We gotten engaged. He was cheating on me. I knew that he was cheating on me. And because I am like inch high private eye, I am going to figure out what's going on. There is something going on. And so what happens is I'm now doing meth. I'm not doing crack anymore. I'm doing meth.
Good girl.
And I'm literally like up all night doing things, projects.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh my God. I am going to Walmart and I am stealing things and I am putting things together and I'm taking them apart and I am like,
But do you ever put them back together?
oh my God.
They're just shit apart. Halfway
Oh my
apart.
God. It's like I would break things and I would take it back to the store and go, I don't, something's wrong.
Right.
Something was wrong. This was broken in the box. And I would bring another thing home and I would try to put it together. And I thought I was the electrician. I thought I was I literally was like involved.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And on top of that, I am literally trying to figure out who this man is cheating with me on me with. And I'm like freaking out. Anyway, second time I get arrested. It's 4th of July. I have my brand new.
What year?
Oh my God.
Ballpark it.
Oh my goodness. This is so
90.
hard. No, my daughter was born in 90. So this is probably 90.
I'm sorry. I
99.
thought it was in the 90s.
No, 99.
Okay.
Maybe even 2000.
Had 9/11 happened yet?
No.
Okay. There we go.
99, probably 99. And yeah, she's got to be close to 9. So 8 or 9. And I think I'd gone to Sierra Tucson in 97. So yeah. Anyway, doing meth, drinking.
You got any relationship with your parents at this point?
Yeah, they like Kevin. They don't know about any of the
extracurricular
curricular activity.
Right.
But once he gets arrested, they have to know.
Yeah, once he gets arrested, it's like, and there's some spots in my story that are kind of like, I'm trying to figure out the timelines of,
right.
But because there's just so much material. But what happened was he ended up going to jail. He got out of jail and now he's like in the mountains and, I know that he's cheating on me. I absolutely know. And I'm going to find out. And I'm going to figure it out.
Meth and alcohol. You're being a detective.
And I'm going to figure it out.
You're getting ready to get arrested somehow.
I'm going to figure out. So it's 4th of July. I have a brand new Airedale puppy. So I'm not going to leave my Airedale puppy on 4th of July by himself to be scared, right? I'm not going to do that. So I put the dog in the car and I'm driving to Lake Isabella where I know Kevin is. And I'm going to find his ass and I'm going to find who he's with, right? Don't ask me how, but I had a plan. I mean, this is what I'm doing.
Fuck yeah, we got a plan.
And I'm literally...
Fucking Rob is all excited over
Oh my
there.
God. And I am driving and I'm drinking on the way up there and I'm like, have been up for 2 days already at this point.
That's just a start.
Oh yeah. Been up for 2 days straight. And so what I do is like, I get up there and I do a whole investigator and I know she lives in a trailer, like trailer park trash.
Classy.
Oh my God. I'm going to find this freaking trailer park trash. And I'm going to find her because the weekend before, get this, the weekend before we go up to go horseback riding and we stop at a restaurant. This is the investigation in me. So
No, this is the meth head in you.
this is the meth head in me. We stop at a restaurant that he goes to all the time and he goes to the bathroom and the waitress knows him very well. And so I go, she comes to the table and she goes, oh, how are you doing? And I go, oh, Kevin went to the bathroom. And she goes, yeah, he's in here so much. And I go, yeah. I go, who's the new girl that he's been bringing? And she goes, oh, isn't she cute? Her name is Shirley.
Got it.
Yes. Because she thinks, I go, oh yeah, this is my brother, Kevin. I tell her it's my brother, right? So she's giving me all this information. So he gets back and I'm like, I'm exploding. And he tells me I'm crazy because a good guy can tell you that it's totally gaslighting me before that term was even available. You're crazy. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. She's mistaken, blah, blah, all the lies, right? And I am literally walking my ass home like I am on the road. And he literally leaves me on the road. And I am like,
Where's the dog?
From late.
No, the dog isn't with me. This is the weekend before.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So then we get back, we get into a huge fight. We get back the next week, he's gone. I'm doing the inch high. I get in my car, 4th of July weekend, and I'm driving to Lake Isabella, and I'm going to find his ass, and I'm going to find the Shirley. And I'm going to literally go to every spot in Lake Isabella and ask where Shirley lives. I mean, this is what my plan is, right? Because she works at a grocery store. I found out she works at a grocery store in Lake Isabella, and I'm literally going to find out who she is.
Narrowed it down.
Oh my God, I am like on one. So I come up empty handed, and I'm coming back, and I'm now buzzed, and I'm like tired. Now, Lake Isabella is a very windy road. And I'm like, got the dog, and I'm really tired. So I decided to pull off the side of the road.
You don't have anything with you to take a bump and get driving.
I had like residue, right? It was just some residue.
Ain't gonna get the job done.
No. So I'm literally asleep on the side of the road. And all of a sudden, I get a knock on my window. Knock on my window.
Yeah, buddy.
And I'm like, and they're like shining the light in my eye. And taking them a while to wake me up, because I'm
2 days.
2 days, been up. And I'm like, and all this adrenaline about finding the girl and all the things. And I have booze, open bottles in the car, right? So they shine the light and they're like, hey, you cannot be parked here. This is a shoulder. And I'm like, well, I thought it would be better. I was falling asleep at the wheel. I didn't want to drive. And they're like, we need you to get out of the car. And I was like, okay. So I get out of the car and they're like, we're going to need you to blow. And I'm like,
breathalyzer.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm going to come over there.
I told you I'm a child. I am a child.
I am going to come over there, Larry. Oh my God.
Child.
See, it's not me. It's always his ass.
So we're going to need you to blow into the machine, into the breathalyzer. And I blew a .088.
Oh,
barely
just
over. Barely over.
But
they were going to let me go. But they went in and they asked where my ID was. And I told them in the console of my car.
What'd they find?
They find the residue baggie.
Yes.
You should have chewed on that thing.
Oh my
Robert.
God. I forgot it was there. I forgot it was there. Okay.
Because her meth head mind already went away.
Oh my God. I was like, are you kidding me? Now my car gets impounded. My dog gets impounded. I go to jail. It's a weekend. I'm in Lake Isabella. I've got to call my parents.
And where the fuck is Shirley?
And oh my God. And you're doing drugs. Yeah, where the fuck is Shirley?
I'm going to kill that bitch.
Where the fuck is Shirley? Absolutely. And get this. My mom comes to get me.
Oh, shit.
And they come and get an attorney, right? They hire an attorney for me.
Again.
Attorney number 2. And they're like meth and alcohol, DUI, and what the hell? My mom is so mad. She is so mad. She is livid. And I've got to go to court. And the only thing that I'm talking about, because I'm so out of it and so my brain is so fried, is Kevin and Shirley.
It's all you could think
It's
about.
all their fault. Victim in every situation. I'm a victim. I speak victimese. That's only language I know how to speak is victimese. If it wasn't for Bill controlling me, I wouldn't have cheated on him. Every single scenario of my life is a consistent victim.
Your sponsor must have had a heyday. I love victims when I start sponsoring them.
Oh my God. And my mother pulls the car off the side of the road and slaps me.
Oh.
Literally slaps me and says, I fucking don't. I mean, she's yelling and cussing, and my mom doesn't yell and cuss. When my mom cusses, it's really bad. Mm-hmm. And we're on our way to court, and she's like, I don't want to hear it. And Kevin Shirley shows up at court to see.
God bless her
find
heart.
out. Oh, yeah. That bitch showed up, and I was like livid. Can you imagine? She showed up at my court hearing. I finally get an eyes on Shirley.
Fuck yeah.
That piece of shit trailer trash.
What she look like?
Meanwhile, piece of shit Trailer trash right here. Me, the one that's got the meth, the one that's doing the investigation, the one that's driving my car with my poor dog in the car. The one is just like, I'm the trailer trash. I am the trailer trash. So anyway, what happens? Then I get sentenced to a program. Now, Kevin's not the only person. I'm the one that's going to programming. Right. Now it comes out that I'm using meth, which my mother is so like
mortified.
My sister, by the way, told my mother that I was doing drugs, and my mother goes, "Oh, I think she looks fantastic." I was like 100 pounds.
Yeah, your weight's on point.
I was like 100 pounds at that point.
Yeah, but she didn't like the bulimia. She really didn't like the meth, did she?
No. And my sister had said,
look at your older sister.
My older sister said that there's something wrong. I think she's doing drugs. By the way, my sister and I did cocaine together. And my brother-in-law, plenty of times. We used to party together, but now I'm the bad person, right? The finger. Hey, I'm the bad person.
Of course, I used to do that. Because, hey, look at there.
Yeah.
The light's not on me now.
Right.
Look over there.
Nope.
Look at the shiny keys.
I'm like, how dare you? I'm like, your husband used to deal drugs at Santa Barbara. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how dare you guys talk about me? Yeah. You know what I mean? So I was super pissed. And I was like, I can't even believe that these people are talking about me. Like, what the fuck? I just had a bad luck. I was barely over.
I was just tired.
I was barely over the limit. Okay? I was stressed out. This man was cheating on me. Anyway, so I'm in a program now, and I get Prop 36.
Which is
Prop 36 was like, if you do the program, then you can get your record. It's like drug court.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm really good with programs. Like, as soon as I'm in a program, I do really great. I do not falter. Now, by the way, I do not have a job anymore. Now I'm working at restaurants because my dad ended up, the Sunworld dismantled, and I had gone into a work for another produce company, and then I ended up in treatment. So that produce company went bye-bye. So now that I have arrests, I can't really get a job in a normal place. And I have, by the way, I have to work underneath the jail and wash buses and vehicles because that's
You're in the program.
No, I'm in the program, and I have community service as well. So what kind of a job? A restaurant. I'm going to work in a restaurant, guys, because that makes sense. And I'm actually really good at restaurants. Like, really good. I'm fast on my feet.
A good people person.
I'm a good people person. I'm a good salesperson. So I'm going to be good at this. So anyway, I was working at a restaurant, and the restaurant happened to be across the street from my house. So I didn't need to have a car at that point since I didn't have a license. And I get through the program. I work the drug court. Kevin and I basically call it quits. We split ties, even though I'm super angry and still frustrated about that whole situation.
Damn Shirley.
Oh, damn Shirley. Get this. We buy a ring, and I give him half the money for it.
Oh, shit.
And Shirley gets it. No. Shirley gets the frigging ring. From my mom's friend who was a jeweler and gave us like a $10,000 diamond for like $5,000. Like, oh my God, you gave my ring to Shirley.
Hell yeah. More resentment. That's just fuel for the fire.
That's another victim story.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Right? Exactly.
I'll drink over that.
Victim. By the way, my boyfriends kept getting lower companions. I kept finding
lowering
companions.
your bar.
Oh,
your bar kept dropping.
Now I've got Donnie.
You went from
shit.
Yeah.
Well, you went from the attorney.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To
someone
rehab.
Tattoo guy. Right. So now you got Kevin, the used car salesman.
Used car show. Now I got Donnie, who's in the produce industry. He's a broker. Like he basically goes and checks boxes of fruit. So he's like an inspector, fruit inspector. So I'm like, but we have a lot in common because like he's really funny. My family couldn't stand him, but they were accepting of him. Okay. Alcoholic, could drink like I did. He was a weed smoker, which I didn't identify, but hey, he was a lot of fun.
Okay, but so you went from heroin addict, crackhead, pothead, drunk,
right? Yeah, and yeah,
working himself around the world.
And he's a golfer, and so I would drive the golf cart with all the beers in it. We would just drink till the sun went down, right? And I'm doing
Sounds
meth.
like a
you're back on
match
meth.
made in
I'm
heaven.
doing meth all the time, by the way. He's smoking weed.
Okay,
I'm
now-
doing meth. He doesn't know I'm doing meth,
Now
by
I'm
the
starting.
way.
Now I'm really proud.
That wasn't his drug of choice.
No,
my
it
bad.
wasn't his drug of choice, and he looked down upon people that were meth heads. But he didn't know
So
I was a
no
meth head.
need to tell him.
No need to tell him that I was a meth head. So I get the first DUI, and I'm in DUI class, by the way. And they tell me in DUI school that the majority of you, like 80% of you, will be back with your second DUI. And I was
Absolutely.
like, oh my God, what loser is that? Like, what loser would be back for a second
You?
DUI?
I got a great DUI class story for mine.
Oh my God, literally, guys. It wasn't a year later. I was back with my second DUI. So 4th of July one weekend, one time. Now I'm with Donnie, and Donnie is at a bar, and he needs me to come and meet him. Well, I had gone home and to do a little meth.
No bumpy bump.
Yeah, and I was coming back
Just
to
need
the bar.
You just go get right.
Yeah, I needed to go get right. So I'm coming back, and all of a sudden I'm speeding and I get pulled over. DUI too, but I do a refusal.
You ain't testing me, bitch. I ain't blowing today.
No, which I
No
lost,
breathalyzer for you, Officer Thomas.
which I lost my license for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I refused to blow.
That's right.
Right.
But you still drove, I'm sure.
Do it again, Larry. I'm going to come over there and
It was
slap you. I'm going to tell you right now, if you do it and you look at me again like that, I'm like, oh my God.
Can't help it.
Jay, you know,
Why do I keep saying that word?
you know what he's getting ready to say? Maybe if you would have.
That's exactly what I was thinking, but she's sitting too close to me.
Oh my
Throw some
God,
shit.
it's so funny. So
She's
anyways,
not that kind of girl.
I'm not.
Bullshit. Have you been
No.
listening to her story?
Oh my God. Oh, so anyway, so I get popped for my second DUI, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to tell my parents? What the hell?
What does
I'm
it matter at this point?
No, I'm just like, I can't. Like, it's like so bad. By the way, my eating disorder and my gambling disorder, also, I am a thief. I forgot to mention that.
Kleptomaniac.
I'm
I
a
knew
big
it was-
klepto. I am such a big klepto. You guys,
Where's my wallet?
How did
No.
you not end up in jail for a long period of time? You got very lucky. Either that or I jumped ahead on the story.
No. You have jumped ahead, and I kind of like. I'm sorry. I don't know where
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay. So anyway, here's the deal.
You can sit back. It's plenty close.
Like when I would go and I would spend all my money on gambling, and so therefore, whatever money I had, like I didn't have for food or other things. And I'm not that type of person that's not going. My parents, by the way, got me a house to live in for my daughter. So my daughter had a house to live in.
Right.
Right. So I have this like 4-bedroom house. Donnie's
grief.
living with me. I am driving to the grocery store with bags, empty bags. And I would go grocery shopping, and I would literally have a cart. And because I had a really nice car and I dressed really nice, I would go into the grocery store and I would load up with every type of booze you can imagine.
Come on.
I'd have cases of beer. I'd have bottles of booze. I'd have tons of food, and I would bag it in the grocery store, and I would wheel out, and I would get in my car, and I would go. And it would probably be like $400 or $500, and I did that hundreds of times.
Wow.
Hundreds of times.
Oh.
That's how I lived my life.
Son of a bitch.
That's how
I never thought
That's how I
it'd
live
be
my
that-
life. So every once in a while, I would get popped. Every once in a while, I would get popped and in trouble at Albertsons or Lucky's or Ralph's. Or I remember my daughter was at gymnastic class, and I got in trouble for stealing. And I had to be back, and they had me in the back, and I was like crying, and I was like saying, I have to go because my daughter's going to get out, and there's not going to be anybody there to receive her.
Wow.
And so I was a big thief as well. I don't know how I skipped over that one. But yeah, so
But that's all part of
I was
addiction.
gonna say that just
and
fits
Causes
in there.
and conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just fits in.
What was it like?
Yeah.
It is.
Made direct or God and ourselves, another human being, the exact nature
Right.
of our wrongs.
yeah, yeah. And like when I say that I was just very busy, there was never a moment that I wasn't in breakdown. I was constantly in breakdown. I was living a life of breakdown, and I didn't know how to stop any of it. You know, it was exhausting for me. It was
so-
exhausting.
We're coming back to see Donnie. You went home and got right.
I got right. I get the
DUI.
second DUI. So now I've got to tell my parents that I've got to go back. You know, they are livid, screaming.
You got the phone number for that attorney's?
Yeah. Yeah. They're screaming and yelling at me. And of course, you know, they absolutely are like, wow. Like, I don't know what to do. Like,
I'm
and
honestly
Donnie
shocked they even took your phone call.
No, and
and
Donnie was like feeling really bad and like went with me to tell my parents. And they respected that about him, that he did that, you know, that he was kind of there. And he didn't know, like, I never told my parents that he had anything going on at all with him. Like, he's a big alcoholic, he's a pothead, or any of those things. They just saw a young man that was, you know, trying to be respectful. And so I was like, yeah, I just don't know what to do. And so, again, I had to go through school. You know, now my school was, instead of a program of like 4 or 5 months for my DUI school, now it went to like 22 months. And I didn't want.
Did you think you were an alcoholic at this point?
I had to go to meetings. I had to go to meetings, and I would identify as an addict because I didn't want to say I was an alcoholic, because at nighttime I would be at Rock and Rodeo, and I didn't want people.
What's Rock and Rodeo?
Rock and Rodeo was like, it was like a line on one side of the bar. It was country, and on the other side it was rock and roll.
I've been there.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah,
on Rosedale.
So
on Rosedale.
Everybody's achy breaky heart line dancing.
Oh my God, it was so much fun.
Yeah, there was, you know, 2 places that you could go is there, because I used to go down there for the drag races and the races down in Bakersfield.
Did you go to Todd's?
Yes. Yeah, we used to go into what's his name's place,
Buck Owens.
Buck Owens' place, and then that
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, the Crystal Palace.
Crystal, love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I used to run around Bakersfield quite a bit. So some of these places she's talking about, I've been to.
So you're at rehab or your treatment.
So I'm not at treatment. I'm going through the classes. I'm going through the classes, going through the DUI classes. And yeah, I have to check in with like probation officer because of my drug charge. Right. And I keep everything. I'm not using drugs at that time. I get through that course and they discharge all my stuff. But then I pick up where I left off, because in the restaurant business, there's people that are doing drugs all the time. Right. Right. It's a big drug den.
Right.
So
especially the cooks.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was just like, anytime I would try to stay sober, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to be doing drugs. And when I say sober, I don't mean from alcohol, because I never would identify that I was an alcoholic.
Because if you did, you'd have to do something about it.
No. And like, hey,
everybody drinks.
No, first one is a 0.088. Right. Like, I was just unlucky. And I was rationalizing, and I would keep saying to myself, like, you know what? The first one I deserved. Like, look how many times I've driven drunk, that I truly was drunk. Like, these times I was not. Like, but I deserve them. Right. So I was like, okay, got it. But to my family, second DUI, meaning every time we were at dinner, there was never a wine glass for me. I was never allowed to drink. I was constantly monitored. It was another, just like the eating disorder monitorization. Now it's like the alcohol monitorization. Yeah. Now I feel like even more of a loser inside my own family.
But do you think, like, in our home, in our experience, when Larry came home after his time at Maynard's and rehab, that, you know, he was fine with us having alcohol in the house? Because at the time, our daughter and son-in-law now were living here. And so we were trying to eliminate everything, and he didn't want that. But do you think that they just didn't understand that? I
think that it's a different time. So this was, Larry, what year did you get sober?
22.
And how old were you?
I was 50.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a mature, so I'm in my 30s, right? And I'm like, this is bullshit, right?
I'm not going to be treated like a child.
I'm not going to be treated. They're treating me like a child. They're like, we're cleaning up your ass all the time. Don't say anything. We're cleaning up your stuff all the time. And you're going to follow our rules. Same thing. Like, my parents always held things over my head. Right. If you don't behave this way, you will not be living in that house.
Fear.
If you do not behave this way, you will be not driving a car. Right. If you do not behave this way, we will not pay this bill. You know what we will not take.
They had hammers over you.
They had
A
hammers.
lot of leverage.
But
A lot of
a lot of
it
leverage.
didn't work.
Because
No, it wasn't going to. She was an addict. The leverages don't work with addicts.
no,
So-
it
That's just
does-
fuel
it-
for the fire.
it-
Logic don't work with addicts or alcoholics.
Well, control. I mean,
Well, for
since
sure.
since it started at such a young age for me, the controlling
Right.
that definitely didn't.
Right.
Like, and so my parents didn't know what else to do. They were trying to save their daughter's life,
Right.
and so they're like, if we throw the money piece over it, like we're gonna get her attention. But it didn't.
Yeah.
And you know, what you just said right there is a big reason why this podcast got started, is because there was parents that didn't know how to help their children, right? And they were blaming themselves that, "Oh, I couldn't do anything for them." Well, you weren't going to do anything for them, and your parents still didn't realize that no matter what they did for you, they weren't going to help you,
Yeah.
no matter what.
No, exactly.
But they were trying. God love them, right? Because they were being a parent.
Yeah, no,
right.
absolutely.
They were being a
But-
parent, and the hardest thing for a parent to do is say, "You're on your own," right? You got to go. And what did Kim say about Mikey? That she had to turn him over to God,
Yeah.
right? If you go back and list that episode, when Kim said, "I had to let him go and turn him over to God," that's when Mikey started coming back. Took him
When
about
she had,
6
and
months.
she had her
Yeah.
freedom too.
Right.
But
She got her freedom. Anyways, I just didn't want to I didn't want to miss that opportunity, because as parents, right, they are going to continue to do, parents, spouses, brothers, sisters, the ones that love you the most are going to fight tooth and nail to save you.
Right.
What they don't understand is
they're going about it the wrong way.
they are going about it the wrong way.
Well, and because my parents are so old school in Italian,
Yes, right, yes,
right?
right.
There's the cultural thing as
Right,
well.
right.
Being a daughter
Right.
also has a thing. I think if I was a boy, maybe they would have let me figure it out. But because
Probably
I was
more.
a daughter, there was an embarrassment. Like they can't be, they don't want to
Right.
be embarrassed.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And I told my mom a long time ago, I'm like, if you wanted to save your embarrassment, you shouldn't have named me Conchetta, because I was in the paper for another arrest down the road of stealing a vehicle and doing all this stuff. And,
You're the only Conchetta in the world.
I'm the only Conchetta in Bakersfield. Like, of course it's me. Like, you shouldn't
Should have named me
Con-
Maria.
Exactly. Exactly. Guess what? No one wants to name their kids Conchetta, like
Right.
including my daughter. She's like, if I have a daughter, it's not going to be Conchetta. And I'm like, oh my God, stop. But anyway, so yeah, so that was like, and to be fair, my parents, also didn't think that anything that they were doing was the problem. They thought if you get right, then everything else will be fine. It's your stuff. This is you. About how she handled my eating disorder, because she knew what she did was wrong. Like as she evolved in her life, she felt really bad. And I used that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Come on.
I used that and fueled that. So there was nothing that I could do. I could always pull it back to, it was my childhood and how abusive you were to me and what you did. And that's the reason I am the way I am. Right.
Right.
So I use that.
Oh yeah.
Not one of my prouder things. I mean, I didn't logically, of course, like intentionally somewhere do that, but I hated them so much. And I felt like I was the way I was because of how they treated me. So I was going to make you pay.
Yeah, you're still in that. You're still in the victim mentality.
I was so angry. I was so angry. And I felt like you put more value on money and everything else, an appearance, than you do about me as a human being. And that's where my pain point was.
Yeah.
So I was just like lashing out. And
That's still hard for you now.
well, it is. Yeah. Because love is not transactional.
Right.
Shouldn't be.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be a transaction. It shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
Like it should just be like, for my daughter, I want her to always know that I love her and I will love her no matter what. Like she's never done anything detrimental like I have. Like she's like, I've never broken any, like she doesn't do those things. But if she did, I would not love her any less. I would not like the behavior. I'd make sure that she knew the behavior and her are separate.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
And I couldn't separate those two. I just felt like you said, shame and guilt. right?
Right.
I am bad.
Yeah, I'm broken.
I am bad and I'm broken and I'm horrible and I'm terrible and I've had abortions and I've broken every commandment.
Right.
Thou shalt not covet thy, all of it. All of it.
You know what else used to bug me? Not only have I broken every commandment, I enjoyed every time. That was fun. 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 Then once I started to get, then that just laid. Why would God even have anything to do with me?
Well, yeah. I thought God hated me. I really, truly did. I thought God.
I hated me. Why wouldn't he?
Right. I thought God hated me and he was punishing me and I kept living this torment. And yes, it looked like I was having fun because
But did it really?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're honestly, look at, you
All the
said
giggles
that.
were gone by then.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. You said it looked like you were having fun. Do you really think people on the outside were looking at you going, she looks like she's having a blast?
Well, I didn't have any friends from high school anymore because all of them had gotten on with their life.
Right.
Did they party? Did they drink like I did in high school? Absolutely. But at some point they grew up.
Right.
And I was not growing up.
We
Right.
did. Yeah.
No.
And I was not learning lessons.
Right.
So I didn't have the lessons that the consequences to my behavior. There was no consequences that I felt because my parents kept coming in and
Right.
and saving me.
I was just getting ready to say that. You never felt the full weight of the consequences
Nope.
because mom and dad kept bailing you
Nope.
out.
And they belt me out because of their own guilt and shame of how I was with my eating disorder.
Well, and
So
how
they
that would look on the family.
But
Right.
do you think it was also on how they would be perceived?
Yes.
Of course.
How the family looks.
Of course. It was secrecy.
Right.
It's like we don't talk about our business.
Even though everybody knew.
Right.
When your name's in the paper.
And also, again, my family never thought that there was anything wrong with them. It's a family disease, guys. Sorry. You can blame me. I'm the loudest one in the family, but we have an issue here, Love you guys. You guys are amazing parents. Love you. You have such incredible love for your family and strength. But there are some things that have gone on that we are not talking about.
Isms.
Yeah.
Was there any history of alcoholism or any other addictions?
No, there was some mental health.
But nothing with their parents or
My grandmother.
Maybe that they didn't talk about.
Yeah. So my grandmother on my dad's side, she had some mental health stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And there was, there was smoking addiction. There was, work. I mean, my dad's a workaholic. My dad goes to work every single day and he's 91, not on Sunday, but
That's impressive.
yeah, he is at work every single day.
That to me is impressive.
Yeah.
So we're only on arrest number 2. What do we get to?
I know.
Well, she had a bunch of little arrests. That's what she was saying.
I had a bunch of little arrests. I kept getting
Cut loose.
just
a bunch of cut loose.
I got a bunch of cut loose, but I would end up in jail for petty thefts and things like that. And my ex-husband, found out because one of his best friends that was in our wedding. It was so embarrassing, you guys. One of the best friends that was in his wedding was a sheriff, and so Conchetta's in jail for stealing.
And the lawyer the ex-husband lawyer finds out.
Yeah. And then
Did
there's
he use that against you
yeah.
with
of course,
child custody?
Of course,
You're
I
your own
lost
worst enemy.
custody. I lost custody of my daughter
For how long?
for a long time. So when she was 8. So what happened was in 2000, maybe 1, I literally was driving to a casino up in Porterville. And I blew every dime that I had. Before that, my ex-husband told me he wanted me to test. And I had been clean for a long period of time.
What's a long period of time?
I've been clean maybe for 6 months. And my parents were really working hard to get me. Bianca was staying with me the majority of the time. But Bill was not paying any child support or whatever. He was not paying child support. So my parents were basically supporting us. Because my parents had money. He knew my parents had money. He just let it happen. Right. And so I was and he was involved with a new woman who was also an alcoholic. And so Bianca's stepmother was mistreating her. And so Bianca would stay with me and we had a great relationship, Bianca. And when Bianca was with me at the house, I wouldn't do anything too terrible, if that makes sense. And I put that in quotes because I was always acting out, but it wasn't like I was trying to put her in any danger. It was when she was out, when she was with him, is when I would go to the casinos or do whatever it was.
Right.
So then I literally, I'm doing really well. And then the attorney is getting me custody. And like my mom said, you're going to do something. He knows all he has to do is wait it out.
Burn it down.
Yep.
I'm
gonna burn
Okay,
I'm gonna
so
do
you're 6
something.
months clean. You're driving to a casino.
Driving to a casino. I drive to a casino the night
Porterville, of all
before.
places.
The night before, I literally see a friend. He's like, "Oh my God, do you want to go out to the car and do a bump?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, yes."
That sounds wonderful. Nothing bad will happen.
No, I swear to
It's just
God.
a small bump.
I swear to God, the next day, my husband, ex at that time, asked me to go test. The next day, I felt it was a plant.
Is that odd
I'm like,
or
is
God?
this? No, I said, is this a plant? Like this is the story. I'm like freaking out.
Right.
Freaking out.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God. And so he tells my parents. I go to my daughter. Get this, she's at her stepmother's house, and I tell the stepmother and the daughter, I said, Bianca, I need you to go pee in a cup. This is my kid
Wow.
because I need fake pee.
Clean pee.
Yeah. The stepmother hears us, tells Bill. Bill calls my parents, says, I'm taking full custody of Bianca. Bianca calls me on the phone. I'm driving up to that casino. I'm distraught as hell. My parents are pissed. My daughter is calling me, telling me I ruined her life.
Oh, wow.
I've got an open container in the car. I get an open container ticket. I'm in a Mercedes Benz that is not mine because my car's in the shop being worked on.
But you don't have your license this time.
No, I had my license back.
Okay,
this time.
okay.
Yeah. And I'm driving back up to the casino and I get an open container ticket. And I'm like, holy freaking crap. My dad is going to be really mad. And a week before that, I had a breakdown where I tried to kill myself and I took a bunch of pills and ended up in the hospital. And my parents were pissed at me. So I've got that going on. Then I have this going on. Then Bianca calls me and says, you ruined my life. I go to the casino. I spent every dime that I had in the bank. And after that, it's like 5 a.m. I'm driving up through the Porterville Mountain area. I don't know if you guys know that area.
I know it.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm going up to Springville. And I am looking off the side of the road to see.
I knew where you were going with that one.
Yeah.
This is a good spot.
Mm-hmm. Real.
This is a good spot to drive off.
Right.
I'm so over it. So over my life. I can't do it anymore. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And I look up and I'm looking like I'm literally driving really slow and I'm looking off the side of the mountain. And I look up in the rearview mirror and cop lights are on me. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't. Stop my car, put it in reverse, back up, and go shooting off the mountain.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I dropped 400 feet in a brand new Mercedes Benz with 70 miles on it. And I get suspended in air. Like God's hand.
Yeah. It's just thinking.
Swear to God, like God's hand. And not a scratch on me. Not one scratch, not even airbag burns. Nothing, because the car was faced like this. The airbags went up this way. I'm in my seat with my seatbelt on and not a scratch on me.
Just like the head-on collision when you're a teenager.
I'm indestructible. I'm indestructible.
Brand new paint job.
Yeah.
God's got a lot to do with you.
I am indestructible. I'm telling you right now, but my thought and my story that I make up is I'm so bad that God doesn't even want me.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
But now you see it as you're not getting off that easy, daughter.
Yeah.
No, but you would think that would be my bottom. So I get out anyway. I get up and I hear all these people above me. All these people, they had a helicopter, the car out, whatever. And in between there, you guys, I had been to another eating disorder treatment center down in Oxnard. Like, so many things have happened in between there. I can't get to them all. I'm just trying to wrap some of this stuff up. But anyway, I'm crawling my way up that mountain, literally crawling my way up this mountain. And I hear them talking and saying, oh my God, she must be completely drunk or out of it or whatever. And I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs. And I'm like, I am not drunk and I'm not high. And I get up there and I have all these like little trees and little things that I'm clutching to get up. And I get up there and the cop goes, well, what seems to be the problem? And I said, I'm trying to kill myself. And he said, no, really. And I said, no, really.
Idiot.
I'm trying to kill myself. And he said, honey, oh my gosh, what could possibly be so bad that you would do something like that? You know? And then he was like really upset. He said, I was getting off my shift. I was trying to get you to move over.
Oh, shit.
He wasn't even trying to pull you over.
He wasn't even trying to pull me over. And poor guy, I made I don't know how I would ever find that guy to make amends to him, but like what I put him through, such a scary thing. But then they took me to the hospital by ambulance. They took my blood to make sure I wasn't on anything and wasn't drinking, because that would have been another charge.
Right.
And then they said, do you have a psychiatrist that you're working with? And I said, yes, his name is Dr. Mendiola. He's down in Oxnard. They transported me from an ambulance all the way down to Porterville. I spent 4 months in treatment again. Wow. That treatment center guy that met me out in front and said, he was this gay guy. His name was Di. And he said, honey, I heard you pulled a Thelma and Louise without the Louise. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, yep, that's it. That's me. And my dad did not talk to me for an entire almost year after that. Wow. Because that car, his best friend owned the Mercedes dealership. And he put us in rentals without, just because it was our family.
Right.
And he was so embarrassed of what I had done. Like he had to basically write a check for a new car, and he was like so mad. And after I got out of that treatment center, I went to work for that treatment center. Wow. And I stole somebody's credit card from the treatment center and used it. And I would rationalize it. And I was going to a casino and I would rationalize it at Chumash. So I kept doing all these. That wasn't my bottom. Like I kept creating more
Just
bottoms. I kept
yourself.
digging. I kept digging and I kept digging. And I got arrested. And Di was like, Conchetta, this has you written all over it, because he knew my story. And I was like, Di, I swear to God, it wasn't me. I didn't steal somebody's credit card. Oh my God, what kind of person do you think I am? No, that person.
Yeah, exactly what you did.
Exactly what I did.
Right.
And I would rationalize it and say, you know what? It's the insurance company. It's going to be, they won't be able to figure it out and blah, blah, blah. And I'll go sell a bunch of stuff that I get at a store and I'll go gamble. And I consistently showed up as that person, you guys. And I kept getting arrested and I kept getting arrested and I kept getting arrested. And I literally lived 4 more years after that experience of driving my car off a cliff, of consistently getting arrested. I got arrested in SLO. I got arrested in Santa Barbara. I got arrested. I mean, it was Kings County, Kern County, Santa Barbara County. I had a whole ring going on in Bakersfield before I had gotten to that, before I drove my car off the cliff, that where I was defrauding Costco's. And literally I went to Costco and they have, how they have the events where they come in, specialized events. They had Persian rug events, right? Where they would have rugs, like all these rugs. And I literally went in there and I bought a rug and I brought it home. This is when I was still married to Bill and the beginning of my gambling. And I literally put the rug down. It didn't go with any of my schemes. And so the rug was like $800 and I brought it back to Costco and I'd written a check for it and they gave me cash.
Kiting. You were kiting. Yeah.
And
what's that?
What she just described.
Okay.
A lot of people do it with loans. It's just kiting. You grab one, you
Is that
write
like
a check
money laundering?
No, it's not. I mean, it's kiting and it's happens in business a lot, right? You write a check, you go buy a business, you write a check, you flip it and sell it, right? You sell that business before that check clears, you pay off the check and you take the profit. That works well until one doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? And then one doesn't happen, then it gets the scheme.
Well, it's like what I did with the Discover card, where I paid off the Discover card, but then I wrote a check. I wrote a check for $11,000 to Discover and got all the money off of it, thinking I was going to go win it at the track.
So
and
she
it
actually
didn't
owed
work.
22.
Yeah. So now I owe 22. So it's like I did a lot of this stuff. So anyway, I went to Costco and I it was so easy. And I was like, that's so crazy. So what I did was I walked into Costco, and I don't know, you guys, I come from a very nice family. I don't know where these things come from. I really don't. I literally was pulling all the tags off the rugs. I went in there and I pulled like 25 tags off the rugs, the most expensive rugs. Some of them were $1,600. Some of them were $1,800. I pulled all the rugs, and that special event rotates out of that Costco and goes to another Costco, right? So I was going to Ross and I was buying the same dimension rug for like $60, and I got a tagging gun and I was tagging the rugs, and I was going in.
Dude, that is some crazy shit right there.
No. And I don't know how I was doing it. And then I was like, I can't do this so many times underneath my name. So I stole my sister's card. I sold my mom's card. I stole my other sister's card. I took my friend's Costco card so that I could rotate the people returning the rugs.
That's a lot of work.
I didn't want to and then I started going all up and down the country doing this. So I was in every Costco from up north to down south. And I would do maybe 4 transactions a day, and I would have all this money. I'd get like $5 or $6 grand, and I'd go to the casino and I'd blow it. And then I'd have to do the same thing the next day. And I did so many times, you guys. It was ridiculous. And when I got pulled over, I was telling you the story about how I got pulled over in Tulare County because I was passed out on the side of the road. I couldn't even remember what town I was in. I was so methed out all the time.
Oh, yeah.
At every casino. And I was driving up and down California so much that I couldn't figure out where I was. And I was passed out on the side of the road, and I was drinking Mike's Hard lemonades. And the cop shined the light in my face again. And I was so disoriented that they got me out of the car. And then they started searching my car. And I was like one of those guys that you see all the cop cars that are backed up. Like, what did that guy do?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You were that guy.
I was that person. So there was like...
Did they make you blow?
They didn't make me blow. They didn't make me blow. But at that time, I didn't even have a driver's license. I was driving Donnie's car. He was out of town, and he knew me. And so I didn't have a driver's license. He took the fuse out of the car. He didn't think I'd know. But I was engaged to a used car dealer.
Right.
So I had a friend pick me up, and I went and got a fuse and put the car, and I was driving, and he was out of town. So I was in his, I know. I'm telling you, it was so crazy what I did. Anyway, I was on the side of the road, and these Tulare people came, the sheriffs, and they pulled me over. Now I had my sister's driver's license because I didn't have a driver's license. So I went to the DMV. Like 6. So I had my sister Ben's driver's license, and the cops come and they go, I give them the driver's license, and they go, okay. And so then they were like going, what's going on? Why do you have so many open containers? And then they wanted to see something. They go, get out of the car. There's something going on. So they start searching my car, and they see all these Costco cards, and then they see multiple IDs because I had my best friend who owned a meat company. I stole her driver's license so I could get her Costco card, so I can get a Costco card. All the Costco cards had my face on them, but different names on them.
Wow.
Right. So I was doing all this stuff, rotating them all.
Methamphetamine.
Yeah, this is what meth will do for you.
Yes,
right.
it will.
This is what meth
Until
will
you get caught. But
No.
God bless, I love it.
So anyway, so I'm exhausted. And by the way, since I'm winning so much money at the casinos, I also had my sister's ID, but I would make up a social security number, and I would have my social security number attached to somebody else. I didn't want my winnings to catch up with me. So I'm defrauding the IRS. Yep. I'm defrauding the DMV. I'm defrauding Costco. And I'm like super tired.
I can't imagine why.
I'm so tired, you guys. And so the cop gets on the phone, and he calls my friend Michelle. Chris. He looks up her, because the driver's license. Why do you have her driver's license? I said, oh, we were out at bars and I stuck it in my ID. Yeah, but why do you have so many different people? So he's like, something's going on here. We're going to get to the bottom of it. And that's when all the cop cars were stacked up. So then he calls Michelle and he goes, hey, do you know a Vincenza Eddie? And she goes, yeah, that's my sister's friend. And she goes, well, why would your sister's friend have your ID? And so then she goes, oh, I was missing my ID. I think that's my friend that took it. That's Conchetta. So now I'm false identity to a cop, like all this stuff, right? They dragged me in. Oh, and I had a wad of cash with me because I'd done all this rug exchanging thing. So I had money. So they sit me down at the station. They get me in a round table and they're sitting me down and there's like probably 6 cops there. And they're like, so
got any meth? I'm going to need some for this.
I know. They're like, what's the story? So I break down and I start telling them everything. I'm a compulsive gambler. I have a gambling problem. I have a drug problem. I have an eating disorder. I'm an alcoholic. Like I just start vomiting on them and I tell them the whole story about what I was doing. And they were like so confused. They were like
more than what they bargained for.
No, they said, that's when they said, oh my God, you should write a book. No, you give people ideas, but that's what came out of their mouth. And they booked me and I booked myself. I got a bail bondsman. I bailed myself out because I had enough cash. I said, just come. And I had that bail bondsman. He dropped me off at the casino. I mean, that's how sick I was. Yeah. But going back to that other story, like, I'm so sorry I had to back up to that, but that was like a lot of the disaster. So I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I wanted to die. And I still had 4 more years of creating more drama, like getting arrested, doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but that is the highest pinnacle of meth use. Usually you hear about, they're painting their house with a toothbrush in the middle of the night. But what you were able to do, you're a high functioning.
Well, I went to work for a guy in Pismo, and he was poor guy's dead too. He owned a store. We owned, I don't know if you've ever been to Giuseppe's. Have you ever been to Giuseppe's? Yeah. Okay. Across the street, they have a pizza place, but it used to be Culinary Spirits, which was it was a deli. We were a deli. Okay. We were a deli liquor store. So I'm living in Pismo and I'm like, at first I was living across the street from Chumash and I met a guy named Ira at a casino. Ira. And he literally had everything I wanted. He had a condo across the street from the casino. He was a wine distributor and he had cocaine. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is perfect. Trifecta.
I would date Ira.
And I told him. And this is when I'm still working at the treatment center and living in Oxnard. And I'm like taking a bus on the weekends. And he goes, you should move in with me. And I told him, I said, Ira, I'm a disaster and I will ruin your life. And he was like, oh no.
You came with a warning.
No, I totally told him. And we were like, oh my God, he played volleyball at San Diego State. I went to San Diego State. Like there's so much synergy there. This is perfect. And I was like, no, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ruin your life. By the time I was done with Ira, he'd never been arrested, 54 years old, is arrested in jail, has no money, lost his condo because of me. I mean, it was like, that's how I
warned him.
What?
I did. I totally. And this is what I do is I am a bulldozer in people's lives.
So when was
I'm trying
2007.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. I don't mean to run to the end here, but now I want to get to it.
Let's do it. So 2007
what's your sobriety date?
My sobriety date is March 3rd, 2007.
Okay.
My parents used to send a car for me. My parents are celebrating 50 years of marriage. I'm living in Pismo. They made sure I had a roof over my head. They wouldn't give me any money. They made sure I had a telephone that worked, but that was it. Right. And, I was working at that Culinary Spirit and I was cooking all the food for them in the case. And, my boss was a cross-dressing meth addict, alcoholic. And
it's a perfect boss.
I was like,
what's the problem with that?
I would like buy him his shoes.
Share clothes with him.
I would like literally buy him his shoes and his bra. And like, what the hell? I mean, I don't know. Drugs do. Wow. And he would smoke a lot of weed too on top of it. But that poor guy died as well. Anyway, my parents sent a car for me and said, "Hey, we're going to have our anniversary," and they would send a car for me. Their anniversaries on December 8th. And so they sent a car for me and a limo or whatever, a car service. They sent a car. They would have a hairstylist waiting for me, nail person, a makeup artist. Yes, the appearance, right? We'll clean you up. We got you a dress. I'm getting ready. My daughter's now 16 years old. Okay. My daughter's being raised by my parents at this point. My parents have taken on my daughter because I told you my ex-husband married another alcoholic who was basically abusing her. So she moved out of that house. She's living with my parents. We're getting ready for the party. And all of a sudden I start to bawl. And she's like, "Why are you crying, Mom?" And I said, "I cannot believe you are a beautiful young woman and I have nothing to do with it. Like nothing. Like, where's the time gone? Like I just lost your whole childhood. I was a mess." And she's like, "Well, if you would get your shit together, Mom, we could be a family again." Wow. And I said, "I don't know how to do that, Bianca." I said, I'm still really sick. I said, "I'm still using drugs." And it was like the moment of clarity, right? It was the moment I was completely honest. I was never honest about anything, you guys. And I was so over it. Like I was just done. I mean, I was lying to everyone and everything. And so I knew that I couldn't tell my parents that, but I knew my daughter could, right? That I was still sick. So the next day after that party, there was a brunch for like all the out of town gifts at the country club. And so I'm there. And all the friends and family are coming up to me and going, "Oh my God, you're going to Hawaii for Christmas. Aren't you excited?" And I was like, "I'm going to Hawaii for Christmas?" Like I've never not been with my family for holidays, right? This was never something.
Even in
my disease, my mom they would send somebody, I would always send somebody to come pick me up. I would be there for the holidays. I wasn't allowed to be in their home because I stole from them. I stole jewelry. I stole a ton of stuff from them. So I wasn't really allowed to be in their home unsupervised, right? Didn't have the keys to the house, didn't have the code to the house, nothing. So anyway, I go, "We're going to Hawaii." So I go to my mom. I go, "We're going to Hawaii." And she goes, "Conchetta, we're going to the Grand Wailea for Christmas and you're not invited. But if you want to pick a treatment center, this will be the last time. Pick wisely." So I started researching. I went back to Pismo. I started researching and I stopped using meth and I stopped gambling. And that boss would come over and say, "You sure you don't want to get high?" And I was like, "No, I'm done. I do not want any more meth in my life ever, period. I'm so over it." But I was drinking like a fiend. My alcoholism was kicked in.
I was going to say that had to take off.
Oh my God. I was at Harry's every single day.
That's when mine took off.
Yeah. Yep. I literally was walking to Harry's because I lived down the street off of Price. I would literally walk to Harry's in the morning. I would have like a bunch of shots and some beers and I would go back and I would pass out. And I'd wake up again and I'd go to Harry's and I'd pass out. And I picked a Malibu treatment center. So I got online and I was like, every treatment center that I'd been in prior to this was a 12-step treatment center. Okay. And every single treatment center had given me that big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I had a bunch of them, and said, "Read the first 164 pages." And I knew that if that was my criteria for getting sober, I was screwed.
Right.
Like, how do I read that?
Right.
I can't read that book.
No.
So I picked a treatment center that was not a 12-step program. I picked Malibu, and I picked Malibu because I had a court case because the one Costco that caught me for the stealing after that, those sheriffs sent out a thing to all the Costcos. Right. Has this happened in your store? One Costco came back and it was the one in Calabasas. So I had a court case in Calabasas that I had to contend with. And I had violated it so many times. I'd been arrested. That judge was Judge Myra. He was the same judge that sentenced Robert Downey Jr. to jail, but he was also a man in recovery. And he kept giving me chance and chance and chance, and I kept violating the probation. And the DA hated me. I mean, literally hated me. He wanted me in jail. He's like, there is treatment in prison. That's what he said.
You ain't lying.
No. So there's treatment in prison, and she should not be out. Like, it's ridiculous. And he was right. But Judge Myra gave me one more chance. And so I picked that treatment center. I went to court. He said, I want to see you in 30 days. After the 30 days, the owner of the treatment center, his name was Chris Prentice. And he came to court with me, and they said, does she belong in prison? And Chris said, I do not think she belongs in prison, and I'll tell you why. I'd never addressed the gambling problem. I'd never, Walgreens, sorry. I never addressed the gambling issue. I'd only gone in there and talked about my eating disorder every time I was in court with them. Talked about the gambling, talked about the eating disorder, talked about the drugs and alcohol. I was completely honest. And at that point, I knew that I was done. Like, I was really done. So I told my parents, I said, I may have to go to prison, because I was looking at 3.5 years prison without, like, they basically said, Judge Myra said, you have a 3.5 year prison sentence over your head. And I told my parents, I said, if I have to go to prison, I said, I deserve to be there. Like, I finally acknowledged all the things.
Yeah, you recognize.
Oh,
it was me. It was me. Yeah.
It was me. I was stepped out of the victim conversation, stepped into accountability,
and that's
really,
when shit started to happen.
That's when, when everything changed for me.
Right.
And so, after that, I ended up going to a sober living after that because I said, look, I've been this way for a really long time. I was 42 years old. It started when I was a young child. Like, I had a lot of stuff to clean up and unwind. I didn't know how I was going to do that. My dad was really pissed. Oh yeah, I bet you need to go. Oh, now sober living, you need to go to work. You know, my mom was like, I think
he's old school.
He's old school. I think she needs to go to sober living and get some skill sets behind her and all that kind of stuff. And I remember when I was 60 days clean and sober, and I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I haven't stolen anything in 60 days. And she's like, Conchetta, that's really great, but you might not want to say that out loud. Like, you know, like they had kind of changed their entire tune about like who I was.
Lowered expectations.
Well, yeah, at the treatment center. So I was in there for 1 month, and then they wanted me to stay a second month. They thought I needed it, which I did. And my mom came to the treatment center and met with you want to wind it up?
No, God, no, you're fine.
Okay. The treatment center owner, Chris Prentice, basically was going to meet with my mom, and my mom was going to find out. My dad was like, oh, I bet they want her to stay at, $60-something thousand a month. Right. Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. My dad was pissed. He still wasn't my fan. He just thought I was a con artist, and he would tell me that I was a con artist.
Yeah, and you didn't prove any otherwise.
And up to that point, he was correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so my mom came to the treatment center and met with Chris Prentice, and Chris Prentice said, people either live up to your expectations or down to your expectations. Mm-hmm. If you look at her to fail, she will continually do that. Right. But if you hold her high, she's going to be a different person when she leaves here.
Good for him.
And so my mom kind of shifted her thinking because, when stuff would happen in my life, I felt like they had wallpaper of everything that I had done. Yep. Every bad decision that I made, because they constantly beat me up over it, right? Not knowing that I beat myself up enough about it. Like, I am a loser.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Right. I'm a loser. I'm a liar. I'm a thief. I'm a cheat. I'm a scumbag.
So
I'm all these things. Right. And I labeled myself as those things instead of thinking of them as this was just my disease and the behaviors that were coming out of my disease. Wasn't what Conchetta was. Because Conchetta is a loving person. Conchetta is a nice person. Conchetta is a great friend, a great mentor, has so much love for people. But my behaviors show up in all of these different ways that are just horrific. And so when I got rebaptized, like I went back to church, I ended up owning sober livings. Opened up my own sober living in Malibu. I did that for 6.5 years. And then I moved down to San Diego. And I opened up supportive living homes for people with severe mental illness, so schizophrenia, along with addiction. And they lived with me and my husband in our home. And I did that for almost 18 years. So people are like, oh my God, how did you put that much time together? And I was like, I never left sober living. I always lived in my own sober living. I never, and when I was in that treatment center, it wasn't a 12-step treatment center, but a very famous fashion designer came there. And he was like, we're going to go to an AA meeting. And I'm like, we don't have to go to AA. This is this treatment center, right? The name of the treatment center. This is not a 12-step. And he goes, if I'm not too good for AA, either are you. And you're going to need something when we leave here.
Good for him.
Wow.
And so I started going to meetings, and I started going to 3 meetings a day. Sometimes I went to 5 meetings a day, you guys. And I started getting entrenched. And then I finally reached out my hand when I was in Ojai. And one time I was in Ojai and I was sitting there, and the most stinkiest homeless man came into the room. And I'm like, please don't sit next to me. Please don't sit.
Here he comes.
Oh my God. He's going to come. He's going to come. He's going to sit right next to me. Oh my God. And I literally had my shirt over my nose, and he sat right next to me. And I was like stressed out the entire meeting until that man spoke. And what the gold that came out of that man and the wisdom and the God, it was like sitting next to Jesus. I'm telling you, I was like, in tears.
What you didn't know you needed.
Right.
No, I was like, how is this possible that this man has this much wisdom?
This gave me chills.
It was so beautiful, you guys. It was so incredible. And at that moment, I realized if I kind of close my eyes sometimes at meetings, because my eyes can be attracted to is the girl with the Prada and the Gucci bag and all those things with the full set of makeup, with the hair inside, like what my eyes are fixated on. That's not necessarily what my mind and my heart needs to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
So I started to really close my eyes when I was in meetings sometimes, because I could hear a message that I necessarily wouldn't hear when my eyes are open. And it was the most beautiful, incredible thing. And then I asked a woman to sponsor me. And I said, I don't know how to read. It's not that I don't know how to read. I'm really smart, you guys. I am.
You just can't comprehend.
No, you are.
I just can't comprehend it.
Right.
I mean, obviously I'm smart, because look at what I just told you and how
I was just saying, you're very smart.
I'm like street smart in a weird way. And I don't know how I learned this behavior, because nobody in my family, I mean, my parents.
Sponsored by methamphetamine.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but you have intelligence as well.
Oh, yeah.
If you opened treatment centers as well. I mean, that's not an easy task.
Yeah.
So there was some work in there too.
I mean, my dad, it was like so funny. When I was in that treatment center and I said, I think I know what I want to do. And my mom goes, what's that? And I said, I think I want to open up my own sober living. Because at that moment, when I was going to sober living, there were not, all the sober livings were like halfway houses.
Right.
Yeah.
They were not, and that's where, trust me, I belonged, but that's not how I was raised.
Right.
And so I thought, if I said, how many people have money that wouldn't go to a sober living that need a sober living? Right. And that's where I was coming from. Like, that's why I wanted to open up a sober living. I wanted to open sober living for the people that were from that wealth place that actually would never step foot in a sober living because of what they don't offer.
That class.
Yeah.
Class.
And so I really had all these people that were coming from these treatment centers, that these high worth or these high end treatment centers that came to me, and they would live with me for like a year, and then they would have success in their recovery.
Right.
And it was like, oh my God, I'm doing some good work here. You know, it was awesome. I had a lot of great friends. I had a lot of fun. And then when I moved down to San Diego, I wanted to focus on, actually, it fell into my lap, a guy that owned a sober living a treatment center that was a high acuity mental health facility. He's like, I really need you to take care of my clients. You're so good at it. And I was like, what do you mean your clients? And he goes, I said, your clients are schizophrenics. And he's like, I know. And I'm like, well, I guess I was kind of schizophrenic too.
You're a little bit.
Come on.
A little bit.
I mean, I was kind of schizophrenic too.
Yeah.
And so I felt like, wow, these are kind of my people. And we had they had to take their medication when they lived with me. If they wanted to live with me, they had to be medicated. And they loved me. And some of them lived with me 2-3 years, and their families were so happy that they had a place that was like a home instead of a facility.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had a home where my husband was a chef. He was a chef from Argentina, and he would cook, and we had cleaners, and we had like, it was like mom and dad. You were living with mom and dad,
Right.
That
weren't judging you.
No, that weren't judging you. Right. So that's kind of how I had my business and what I did.
So how did your steps go?
So my steps went in many different ways. I did steps a lot. So I did the steps with my sponsor, the first sponsor that basically read line from line. We it took us a long time to get through those steps, but I got through them, and she took me through, and she said, anytime you see a word that you don't understand, we're going to read together. So don't feel bad. I'll read. You tell me if there's any words in there that you don't understand. We'll stop. We'll talk about it. We'll underline it. We'll pull out I had a dictionary and a highlighter and the whole thing.
Good for her.
And so we went through that. I went through back to basics step work, through that way. I went through a recovery through Jesus Christ, a place called Awaken Church in San Diego. They did them. They do the steps in a similar way, but it's based on faith. So I've done them that way. I mean, I've worked through so many different ways. And what I will say is I want to be completely honest that even though I haven't drank or used drugs in almost 19 years, my process addictions have come up here and there, in my recovery.
Oh, I bet.
They have. I was off of gambling for like 5 years. Then I was off for 8 years, and I've decided to walk back into a casino for no reason except for when I get stressed, when I've gotten stressed out. I've left that door. I left that door open so many times that I don't know why. It is like, why is drinking and drugging an absolute for you? Right. But sugar is okay. Where I will sit there and buy hot tamales, a big giant bag of hot tamales, and hot tamale myself to death. Why is that okay? Or why is drinking sodas okay? Or why is going into a casino okay?
It's all forbidden. Every bit of it's forbidden. And you've said it earlier.
To excess, of course.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, let's go all the way back to her childhood.
No, I got you.
All that was forbidden by her mother.
No, I got you.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
And she still has an authority complex. You've said that a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all forbidden. So every once in a while, the child then comes out and goes, watch this.
And here's the rationale as well.
Right.
At least I'm not smoking meth.
No, for sure. That's what.
No.
Yeah.
I get it. Why do they?
The gambling wasn't my problem. It was the methamphetamine. That was my problem.
Well,
I justify ice cream.
Well, and here's the thing about working in recovery, you guys, that's a little dangerous as well. And I think I talked to you, Larry, about this the other day. I lost a really good friend of mine. Mm-hmm. He was 35 years old. Right. He was the same age as my daughter. And we met going through a leadership development program that lasted 4 months. It was for entrepreneurs. And he was sober like 15 years. Okay. 35 years old, got sober really young. He became a doctor in sobriety, a psychiatrist. He was a nurse. He owned treatment centers in San Diego. And 2 weeks ago, they found him dead of an overdose.
Horrible.
So that's been really difficult for me because I'm just like, there's so many of us that work in recovery that feel like we suffer in silence because if we tell somebody that we're suffering or that we're not well, right? We're not well, that then we're going to get judged because there's a lot of people that like to talk in my industry. Oh, right. I bet. So it's like I can get a therapist. I'm going to have to find a therapist that lives in another country, right? Because the therapists like to talk. Oh my God, did you know that Conchetta came to me because she relapsed in her sugar or in her, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God. And then you get no clients, like, so it's like there's this awful stigma about
that's crazy.
Being well.
But you're only as sick as your secrets.
You're only as sick as your secrets.
Got to get it out.
Right? You got to get it out. And it's like, that's another reason why I'm kind of on fire for this next level of what I want to do.
Yeah, talk about that. I mean, I'm not trying to wrap up.
Yeah, no, we can. I mean, it's been a while.
I mean, it's, I mean, we're going on 4.5 hours.
Wow,
right?
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You know what, Conchetta, and I told you that
That's a
when
great
we
story.
broke.
That's a
No,
great
I'm going
damn
to tell
story.
you.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this right now. If this wasn't a story, I'd have checked you out a long time ago, right? I mean, my ADHD would not have allowed us to go on this long.
Yeah.
It would have. It wouldn't have. But because there's so much there, and now the little bit I've gotten to know you over the last 3 weeks, I'm going to tell you how Conchetta came to me. I'm going to tell this story, and Mary's probably going to be mad at me, right? So Conchetta, she emailed me on the Buzzsprout on the fan mail, which I can't respond to, might be able to, but I don't know how to, nothing. And I you know what? I think you were even on that text. I screenshotted it. I screenshotted it and I sent it to the three of us, right? You, me, and Mary. And then I jumped, and almost immediately I got an email, right? And I looked at my phone and it was her, right? So I read it, and this time it had her phone number, right? So I called her right away, almost immediately. It was less than a minute, right? Yeah. I called her right away. I was sitting at a Starbucks in Phoenix, and so we talked. And, she kind of told me the story and told me some stuff short. And I called Mary. I go, now you got to understand Mary. I love Mary, but she worked in the jail. So everything is sketch to her.
Well,
right?
she's got law enforcement.
Everything is sketch,
is
right?
cool.
She has saved me a couple times, right? I love her to death.
She's sharp.
So I call her and I go, hey, did you read that? She goes, yeah, it sounds sketch to me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what you saw group text?
I go, Mary, I just hung up with her. And she's like, yeah, it sounds sketchy to me, Larry. And I'm like, oh my God, will you call and talk to her just so we can, so we can be on the same page? And then I gave her your number that she didn't call for like 3 or 4 days. She didn't call for like 3 or 4 days. I'm like, Mary, come on, check this out. And then her eyes like, I'm going outside of Mary, right? Or going outside of Mary. I'm just going to schedule her. So we scheduled the date. And then I told Mary, I go, it's scheduled. You're going to have to call and check her out because she's coming in no matter what. I don't care. So I think you did end up talking to Mary, right? And I love her to death, but she's just protective of Rob and I, right? She is, and I love her to death, but I wish she could have been here. I love that my wife's here, but I wish Mary could have been here because she would have dug in on this one right here. And I can't wait for her to hear this one. I'm so glad Katie was here because honestly, that needs to be told in front of an audience. Have you ever had the opportunity to tell that in front of an audience?
Well, I mean, I've spoken at meetings that are like, I remember the first time somebody asked me to speak at a meeting.
Yeah, but how do you sum that up in a 45
You can't.
No, 40.
No
it was
way.
a 45-minute pitch, and I at the time was like, how? And I was thinking, oh my God, that's so long.
No, you just
and then I was like, I remember I got a 10-minute or 15-minute warning, and I was like,
right.
I was in a panic of how to.
And you're thinking, well, shit, I'm only 23 right now.
But this is why I was so grateful to you too, because if I want to do something like this, and I've never been in front of an audience, and I've never had a microphone in my face, and I've never because even though. I love what you said, Larry, on one of your things. Like, I love the sound of my own. I do. I love the sound of my own voice. You both have very nice
my voice
voices.
sucks.
No, I don't think. No, I think it's a very good compliment. Actually, I really do. I think it's a yin and yang thing, and I really believe
Fuck
that.
You, Rob.
Yeah,
I'm the yang.
But
I don't even know which is which.
I don't either, but it sounds good.
But I have a thing in my brain that basically that thing that still tells me that I'm not good enough.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. Whatever those things are.
We work twice as hard to convince ourselves. But
yet you wear that.
Right.
What's over
cross. Right.
You're good enough for him.
Right. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. And listen, I'm so grateful to be able to have this opportunity with you all to kind of tease a little bit of this out, maybe get a little more comfortable with a microphone in my face.
No, you did an awesome job.
As you go back and listen,
tell us.
Breathalyzer.
Remember
not
breathalyzer?
Blow.
No. I know. Quit blowing.
I did.
But you want to know my past.
I want people to hear. Go, Katie. You start.
Go ahead, Katie.
No, I was just gonna say, you are wearing beautiful apparel with a cross on it, but where has your walk with your God?
That's interesting.
How far have you come?
Well, when I first got sober, I was continually going to Catholic church, right? Because I thought that I had a different opportunity to look at all the things that God was there for me. You know, that God was literally, I always tell people, I go, God, since I was little, was giving me little nudges. I just was not paying attention.
Right.
And by the time I was ready, he had his foot on my throat and he was saying, stay down and surrender.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I had 4 serious suicide attempts. So for me to be alive is like, it's amazing. Right. And I know that God definitely had a purpose for me because I do have a heart for working with others that allowed me to have a beautiful way of communicating with them that didn't have a lens of judgment around it, but had a lens of compassion.
Yes.
You know, and I think so many of us, as we get sober and we get clean, we have this shame, like Rob was saying, and I love that what you say is I am not shame. I am not who shame says I am. Right. I am who God says I am. Yeah. And so I would go to Catholic church and I just felt like it was checking a box because I felt like I needed to be obedient to him for what he had given me. But I didn't have the relationship that I wanted to have. There was a guy named Kurt Hagen, and we worked the steps in a group. He was he was a priest at one time, got sober.
And recovered Catholic.
Yeah. But his name is Kirk, and he was part of the Pacific group down in LA. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. Yeah. And he ended up having a workshop that lasted a year, and we would work the steps and he would go through the Oxford group, and we went through. I mean, it was such an incredible. It was so great.
You have the 4 absolutes, which that's why they got rid of the Oxford tenets, because of those 4 absolutes. You know, I forget absolute purity, absolute love, which is just, Bill says we can't. An alcoholic ain't going to be able to.
But before the Oxford groups, there was another group before that.
The temperance group?
Yeah, there was even before, it was like, and it was like, it was an amazing theology, not just theology lesson, but also, you know, dive into the literature.
Well, the Oxford group was just a Christian-based organization that was trying to live out first century Christianity.
Theologians.
The first century Christianity to the best of their ability.
Yep.
And Bill just latched on to, that was the, that's where he gave him the steps.
That was his foundation.
Well, when Roland Hazard went over to see Dr. Carl Jung, you know, because Freud was busy, and then the other guy was busy. They didn't believe in God anyway. Jung says, well, what you need is a vital spiritual experience. An alcoholic of your type is only going to get well by a vital. Okay, so there's your solution. Then the Oxford group gave him his gave us the steps on how to achieve that. So, you know, and so you have a non-alcoholic, you know, that, and then came up with how we get sober.
Yeah.
You know, we needed a vital experience, you know, alcoholism, and Dr. Silkworth told us what the problem was. Mental obsession followed by physical craving.
Right.
So you need a spiritual experience to overcome that if you're an alcoholic of our type.
That's right.
Carl Jung told us that. Yep. Then the Oxford group, Bill and Bob, found, okay, here's a working model of how we can achieve that.
Yeah. They did. It's all divine.
It's all God.
It's all God. It is all God.
If
you look at Bible and you look at the 12 steps, you know, it's like there's so much. There's so much. Yeah, there's so much crossover.
So much there.
But
I read it to Katie 2 weeks ago, where this is Bill and Bob's last speeches, and Dr. Bob tells us where him and Bill sat down going through the good book, and where this book came from was the Sermon on the Mount. The 13th chapter of 1 Corinthians and the book of James. That is the impetus of our big book.
Exactly.
So whether there's people they don't like that. I don't give a shit what you like. It's the fact.
It's fact.
Yeah.
And it works.
Right.
So if you're going to worship a God, or if you're going to have a higher power, it might as well be my God, because he's the one that. Sorry.
So you asked me where my walk went.
Yes.
And let me just kind of tie that up. Then I started a friend of mine, after I went through that leadership development program, said, hey, I would love for you to come to church with me. And I was like, I can't go to a different church. I'm Catholic. You know, how does that? I can't do that.
What am I going to do if my mom finds out?
No,
but
exactly. It's against kind of the law, you know, what are you doing? And he's like, he kept trying to encourage me to go to church because I was struggling with my second husband, who was who was sober at one time, but then relapsed on marijuana. And I was trying to shift him, and I couldn't. And so he said, please just come to church with me. And I said, okay. So I went to church and I'm like, the worship alone, I'm sobbing.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, this is church.
Comes alive.
Wow.
Comes alive.
I could not believe it. I was like, and then this pastor that got up and spoke, his name is Pastor Jurgen. He was a German that got saved on a beach in Australia. So he has an Australian accent. His dad was atheist. He was suffering from addiction, got saved on a beach. And he said that we have a baptism coming up. And I said, oh my gosh, I want to do that. So I got rebaptized and rededicated my life to Christ, right? And had a different relationship. Now I have a different relationship with Christ and understanding. And I literally was in that church for 2 weeks and I signed up for a year-long Bible college. Wow. And I'm like, so then
Your
I went through that.
addiction went to
I'm so bad.
Addictive personalities.
I'm so bad.
Well, I mean, look at this right here. This studio is because of once I get locked into something, it's hard for me to break away from it.
Exactly.
Right. Talk about what you want to do, because this is very interesting to me. And I love the fact, I want you to dig into that a little bit and explain that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows how we can possibly work together in this too, because I love your guys' energy and love what you guys are doing. But what my vision has been, and it's been like this for the last probably 6 to 8 months. So I got rid of my business in San Diego and I moved home 2 years ago back to Bakersfield to help raise my grandkids. And I do sober companion work, which is companioning people, right, with mental illness that necessarily won't go to treatment, but you can stabilize them if you have the right tools. And since I've worked with severe mental illness, I'm a good asset in that field. So a lot of people will call me. I had a 4-month job and I was there and I could not believe the breakdown in the treatment world. I was up in the Bay Area in San Francisco and I was like, is this the best that we have? Like, this is supposed to be the best treatment center in the Bay Area. And I'm telling you, it was a crap ton of money.
Right.
Like almost $20,000 a week.
Shit.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, for 4 hours a day and crap services. And I could not believe it. And I was just so disappointed in what we have available and for people and how people get taken for a ride. And I was like, it doesn't matter if you have a lot of money. People shouldn't look at you through that lens. Like, we should have services for people that are the best services for the right person, for what their needs are. Like, and we don't have that. There's so much pay to play in my industry. It's unbelievable. The interventionists get paid to send people to the treatment center. The treatment centers pays them back. Like, it's disgusting. Back and forth. It is so disgusting what happens in our industry. The interventionists, the coaches, all of it, they're all dialed in. And I don't like it. I've never liked that. Also in my industry, there was, when I first started, there was people that would basically, it was a drug testing scam where people would get paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for one drug test, and people would be testing people like 4 and 5 times, and they would be billing the insurance like $10,000 each test. It was disgusting. So there's a lot of breakdown and a lot of corruption in my industry, and I want to uncover, discover, and discard it. I really do. I'm so disgusted by it.
Let's go.
That's funny because like the hospitals, if say somebody has a surgery or something happens and they end up being taken back to the hospital and they get readmitted, there is a council that is monitoring all of these hospitals to make sure that they're staying on the up and up. So there's like for hospital-acquired infections and that kind of stuff, they're trying to eliminate those kinds of things, among other things in which they're doing with this. So why aren't these treatment centers looked at a little bit more closely when they have people who have relapsed or,
There is so much,
or not successed, or they don't follow through or they don't finish their program or any of those things.
It's not a regulated field, really.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So, and I'll just speak for myself. I mean, I didn't know any better, but I was 6 months sober when I started my first sober living. Yeah. Like,
No license, nothing. You just bought a house and invited people.
I rented a house, leased a house.
Yeah.
You know, it was a really nice house in Malibu. It's like, I'm like, what is going on with our industry? It is so crazy. And what has happened is a lot of these mom and pop treatment centers have been bought out by all these equity people.
Right.
Yeah. All these places. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So all these people that own all these hospitals, this is another branch for them. Right. They don't care about how it's run, because it's just part of their portfolio.
But I mean, and repeat business, they don't care if you get sober. They'd rather you not, because repeat business, especially if you're wealthy.
Oh.
Yeah. But how much, this brings up it's a few questions to me. How much does the state, is there any state oversight at all?
So there's licensure. So and it's, yes, there is some, but they're so bogged down. So there's not enough.
I'd love Kat's take on this as well.
Yeah, there's not enough people regulating and going out and checking on them. So yes, when you're getting licensed, there is a criteria that you have to follow, right? No more than each license is 6 beds only, right? And if you have something connected, it has to have a separate address to get another 6 beds. And you can't provide, certain types of, there's all these criterias. If you're an eating disorder place, then you have to have certain criteria, right? You have to have the kitchen. The kitchen has to be, staffed in a way, but whatever those criterias are that the state has. But they get them licensed and opened. And you know what? Whoever has the most money and gets the fastest places open.
There is no state mandated curriculum at all for that in order to get
do we want the state involved?
No, God, no. No, but there needs to be some regulation, just as Conchetta is saying. There needs to be some kind. Listen, I'm the one that don't want any oversight from the government whatsoever. Right? Until it comes to the well-being of people and stealing their money. Right? There needs to be some kind of, I don't want them oversight, but there needs to be some checks and balances. This, right? There's also, there's got to be some kind of reporting.
That's why I want to do this. Right. Because there isn't, Larry.
A body that oversees.
But do you think, if the state's also going to get involved, do you think that you have to have somebody who's actually licensed, a licensed therapist or medical doctor or psychiatrist, psychologist, something like that has to be participating in these group homes as well?
The owner needs to be attached to a license.
Well, the owners, let me tell you, there's some horror stories of owners of treatment centers that are in prison for getting their clients high and having sex with them. I mean, that was in Malibu. Yeah. It was called, look it up. It's called Malibu Mogul Rehab owner, Chris Batham. It was disgusting what he did, but he's in prison for like 40 years or something like that. But those are happening all the time. There's another guy, his name is Dr. Sharma. He was a doctor and he was scamming the insurance companies out of everything. And he closed down, but then he opened up in another name. What they do is they close down, and if their name's attached to it, then they'll hire somebody else and open it in their name. And there's all these scammy things.
Or they become a medical director of things like that. But look at the same, our favorite, we're huge friends. We've watched that forever. But Matthew Perry, he had a doctor who was giving him the medicine that killed him.
I knew Matthew. There was Matthew Perry's also had a...
He had a sober living house too.
He had a sober living house. Yeah. And the guy that owned the sober living house and got Matthew to buy in and put his money was his interventionist and coach.
Jesus
Christ. That's what I'm talking about. It's gross and disgusting. Yeah. And it's so funny because I was so gross and disgusting in my addiction that I don't want to be like, I have standards and values and I don't want to be that person. And I really don't like what's going on. Like, that was one of the reasons why I left Malibu in the first place, because it got so gross and slimy to me. And I was like, ugh. because the standards had come down when everybody. So there was a time frame in 2007 when I got sober where everything was cash pay, and there wasn't really this insurance piece. And then everybody started switching over because insurance companies came in and were, it was like people were accepting insurance. But the way the insurance is set up, you guys, is they don't want to pay for people. They really don't. They want to pay for minimal days for people to get sober. Anything more, it's like you have to fight really hard. I remember this when I was in eating disorder, because if you were anorexic, you would get a lot of days because you were underweight. And so there was a medical need. But if you were bulimic, you didn't fit that because your body, your BMI, BMI was higher. And so you weren't a threat to your life. And I remember Di Wolbert, that guy, screaming at the top of his lungs at these insurance companies saying, my bulimics are more sick than our anorexics. Right. And you are going to kill these girls. So yeah, disgusting. So it is disgusting.
Sad that there's not that many people that advocate that hard for it either, because I work for a medical doctor myself, so we get denials all the time, and our patients just have to deal with it. I mean, there's no way that we can fight. And a lot of the times it's somebody who is not even a medical doctor who's looking at this and making these decisions. And who are they to question someone who's actually had a fellowship and a specialty who is requesting this procedure? But yet this person barely probably made it through medical school and is not even practicing treating patients. They're only looking at medical review.
And dollar signs.
Yeah, and that's all they're doing.
What doctor do you work for? What kind of a...
He's an orthopedic surgeon.
Oh, that's funny. Did he tell you that I just had a hip replacement?
No.
Yeah.
I did.
Y'all three have a new hip.
We all three got a new hip.
Oh my God, I'm having my next one done December. Like, I was like, why did I not do this? It was affecting my back and my knee. Yeah, exactly. No, but I had a total shoulder.
But wait, let me ask you a whole other question.
I'm about ready to pee myself.
This came up just recently too about post-operative pain and your medication. How did you do?
I mean, I was on medication for 3 days. And I was done.
Good for you.
Yeah. I was like, absolutely. Pills were never my thing, even though I tried to kill myself. The pills that I tried to kill myself with were psychiatric drugs, because everybody told me I was bipolar my whole life. So I was on all sorts of different drugs.
Yeah.
But pain pills are definitely not my thing that I want to be on. Yeah. No. So funny, you're like, when I was pickled, I never had any of these problems. Like, what the heck? I was like, I don't understand it. And all of a sudden, my neck, everything is bad. Right. And I understand. I think what happens is our foundation, like, we're so strong, and then our foundation, and it's like somebody is like chipping away at it, and you don't realize it. Well, methamphetamines, but for me also, it was my lifestyle choices. Right. So it was my eating disorder. It was the throwing my cars off cliffs and head-on collisions.
I was also 408 pounds for a period of time.
Oh, you were?
I had gastric bypass in 07.
Oh, you were a big boy.
Yeah. I did 6'3", 408 pounds.
What do you think about all these shots, all these?
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I don't. Good for them.
Yeah.
If it's helping them, good. Go. Yeah.
I think it is a stopgap though for some. Like Larry, probably he would have lost weight, but ultimately he probably still needed to have the surgery, and the surgery has been so successful for him. But I think that a lot of people, when they get on it, and they drop all that weight, they look great, but then they don't
deal with the problem. It's the same thing. Here's the problem. When I lost all my weight, I didn't take care of my problem, right? I didn't.
No, you had one addiction. You just went from one addiction to another.
I went from a food addiction to an alcohol addiction, right? So I never dealt with the problem.
No, the underlying causes.
Right.
What's the problem?
Right. And I didn't do that until I went through my 12 steps, right?
Well, yeah,
With a stud too, by the way.
Where? Who?
You're the guy who took you to the steps.
Who?
He's awesome.
You. We know who that is.
Hey, I'm about ready to pee myself. We could sit here and talk for hours.
I know.
But we're going to get out of Conchetta.
Rodrigo's probably going, thank you for leaving outside for 5 hours.
We are going to be in touch. I'm going to be in Bakersfield tomorrow.
Oh, good.
I'll get a holler at you. Maybe we'll go have dinner.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Today that will help you.
If you did not, come back next week and we'll try again.
If you like what we heard, give us a 5-star review. If you don't like what you heard, kiss my... You can't say that, can you? Anyway, if you don't like what you heard, go ahead and tell us that too. We'll see what we can improve. We probably won't change nothing, but do it anyway.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Come back next week and hopefully something will be different and something will sink in. Take care.
This has been Recovery Unfiltered.